Buff Nation, what up? BWBs, all of my bandwagon buffs. What's going on with y'all? I hope you all are having a great week on purpose. Welcome to TLP Sports Club. You are now watching TLP Live. I am your host, Harry Billion. Thank you for joining me today. As I promised, I was going to give you an opportunity to let it out, I guess. Let it all out. I wanted to give you an opportunity to, I guess, air out your grievances, even though Colorado won. Colorado beat Baylor. Colorado beat Baylor. Colorado beat Baylor. All right? The reason why I'm laughing is because there are people out here and there are people out there that do not understand or that don't want to accept the fact that Colorado won. Some people are not going to be happy. Some people are, no matter what Colorado does, the goalpost is going to move and you're not going to make people happy. But I want to say Colorado beat Baylor. Some people some people cannot bring themselves to say Colorado won and Colorado beat Baylor. All they can do is say Colorado almost lost. So there are people out there that all they can say is Colorado almost lost. Tweets and messages for social media were already ready to go. In the fourth quarter, the messages and everything were typed up and people were ready to press send. But then, Hail Mary, Mother of God. It happened. Colorado prevailed. I ain't gonna hold you. People like myself did not think that Colorado would have gotten it done. Because you look at the clock, it says 2 seconds after number 14, I forget his name, sorry, drops the ball. The ball hit him, bang, on his chest. That's why they say, try to catch the ball with your hands, not your chest, right? Because it can bounce off. But the ball hit off his chest. It's 2 seconds to go. Now, after the ball hits his chest, the ball drops, 2 seconds to go. And we're like, can we even get off a play? I don't know if the coaching staff, Coach Prime, or anybody on that sidelines had any hope of that game actually turning the way that it turned. You don't give up until the final whistle. You don't stop playing until the final whistle. Colorado won. Now, is that the way that Colorado wants to win games all the time? Is that the way that Colorado needs to win games all the time? The answer is no. Colorado is aware that they play poorly. But for some odd reason, some people cannot accept that. It's very hard for some people to accept that. They just really, all they want to do is just talk about how poorly Colorado played, talk about all of the mistakes that Colorado made, and they're just upset, and I don't understand it. This channel and myself, this channel celebrates Colorado. In case people don't understand, in case some people don't understand, because I know that I'm kind of like centrist when it comes to Colorado. I put myself smack in the center where I don't just appease people who are all Colorado fans, and I don't appease people who are haters or butters or whatever. I'm smack in the middle there because I'm the kind of guy that wants to talk and wants to hear people out. I want to see what else people think, because I don't want to get caught in an echo chamber of Colorado pom-pom shakers. All right, because that's not a fun place to be. For me, my life, the way I live my life, I don't like that echo chamber. It's like, oh, we're all great. Everything is great. I'm not that guy. And then I'm not also the guy that goes all the way out and just trash Colorado, blah, 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 blah. But I want to hear people out. So that's where I'm at. And that's where this channel goes at. That's what this channel is for. But talking to some of my butters and talking to some of the people who say that, I like Coach Prime, but or people who say I'm not a hater, I'm just a real football fan. When I talk to that side of the fence, it seems as if they don't want to accept the win. And now I'm perplexed. Now I got questions because I want to know, for people who are upset about the win, for people who just don't want to accept the win, but for some odd reason, I got a pimple right here. Are you kidding me? My pretty smooth face is getting people, so I must be stressed. Y'all are stressing me out because half of y'all have not subscribed to the channel, but y'all are actually consuming the content. So now look at me getting pimples on my face because y'all not subscribing. Y'all are subscribing to the other channels, and y'all not subscribing here. It's all good though. Anyway, so yeah, I'm perplexed because when you hear the butters and you hear the others, right? There's butters, there's others, there's neutrals, there's super fans, there's BWBs. There's a lot of different colors of fans, shapes and sizes of Colorado fans. And for the most part, the people that are butters and others and people that are just neutral, they come on here. It's like, I don't really hate Colorado. I'm just a football purist, X, Y, and Z. A lot of them have this tone of upsetness in them. And the reason why I'm perplexed is because I thought that I asked them the question. I'm like, but wait a minute. You just told me that you like Prime and you want but you cannot, no matter what he does, you can't bring yourself to just accept the win. It's always questions. I'm like, you got to really check that, because if you're upset about the win and all you want to talk about is what they did wrong, then I don't know that you're other. You're not really, you're kind of like between, you're more in the hater category than you are kind of like, oh, I love Coach Prime, but if the win upsets you, you're not really a Coach Prime fan. And I just wanted to make that clear for some of y'all who don't understand that we are fans first. We are fans first. If you can't bring yourself to just be happy for the win, and then we can talk about the other the bad later. If you can't bring yourself to accept the win, I don't know that you really like Coach Prime like that. Maybe you need to kind of like reevaluate what you're thinking or how you think you are and how people perceive you. Because when I read the comments, when I'm watching, when I go to other channels and I look in the comments, like Matt McChesney comment or JB's comments, when I'm doing my research and I'm sneaking up on y'all like I usually do, and I'm doing my research to understand who I'm dealing with, the conversations that you guys are having, a lot of y'all who say that you are neutral, you don't sound neutral. You sound like a hater. I don't coin everybody a hater. But I'm saying, like, there's a point where you gotta define who you are and what it is that you're trying to do with Colorado. Because a lot of y'all are kind of snaky to me. Because you're kind of like, you're in these chat rooms and you're on panels and you say that you like Coach Prime, but you're a football purist and you would like to have a football conversation, but you can't bring yourself to actually accept the win. I mean, football is football. We all know that predictions happen. We all try to make our predictions based on either the year prior or based on the personnel, based on a whole lot of data that we all have, and we try to make predictions. But there has to be a point where if you are a football purist and you understand football, you're going to have to just sit down and just watch the game and enjoy the game. I mean, Baylor was an epic game that Colorado pulled off. And check within yourself. And if you didn't say, wow, that game is what football is made of, if you could not bring yourself to that, but you can feel the hate inside of you, I don't know that you're a Coach Prime person. See, that's the thing that separates me from a lot of people. Because I'm very resolved in who I am. That's why I'm able to deal with a lot of different personalities online. I know where I stand, and a lot of y'all know where I stand. Y'all, my people, the people that God sent for me on my channel, they know me already. They're like, Harry B. They keep telling me, Harry B., stop talking about those people. We got you. We know where you are. We know who you are. We know where you stand, and we rocking with you. So don't worry about those other people. So I'm not talking about nobody that's hating me, that don't like me, whatever, because I know where I stand. I can be critical of Prime. When it's time for me to just watch the game and enjoy the game, I can put all that criticism away and enjoy the game and be happy for him. But a lot of y'all can't. A lot of y'all that say, now I'm not talking about the haters now. I'm talking about those people who say they like Prime, but they're a football purist and they understand football. Those people are having a hard time accepting Prime's successes. And that's why I wanted to come on here again today, and I wanted to talk about the game. I want to give people an opportunity to get it out their system, to talk about it. Join TLPlive@gmail.com is on your screen, guys. I want to have a conversation because I feel like we need to redefine who people are all around here. I feel like we need to understand who's who. Join TLPlive@gmail.com. Join TLPlive@gmail.com is the email. I'll give you another thing. Himothy, you guys remember Himothy? Himothy was in the chat, and he said, he came on after the game. He was like, don't you ever say Prime should not trust Shadeur again. And I thought about that comment because I'm the one that says Prime does not need to trust Shadeur 100%. So let me explain. When you say stuff, people take it and they run with it, and they're going to process that information however they want to process that information. So when him says after the game, don't you ever say don't trust Prime anymore, or Prime should not trust Shadeur anymore. You see, this is how I separate myself from others. Because here's my criticism. Shadeur is an elite quarterback. I have said that here. He's still number one in my book. All right. Does he have things to work on? Yes, he does. When he does things great, does that take away me saying Shadeur still got things to work on? It doesn't. When we win a game, do am I the type of human being where when things are going well, I praise you, but then when things are going bad, I curse you? I'm not that kind of human being, y'all. So for you to say, don't you ever say Prime should not trust Shadeur anymore, it's for you to think that what I was saying was Prime should not trust Shadeur at all. I said Shadeur is a great quarterback. He's very mature for his age, so Prime should definitely trust him because he makes great decisions. But there are a percentage of decisions that he has made poor decisions. Because the game turns out one way doesn't mean that what I was saying doesn't have any credence. That's not how that works. There are decisions that I want Prime to take back from the coaches, from anybody else, for him to make as a head coach. When a game is going in a certain directions and you don't feel like, as a head coach, you don't feel like the game is going the way that you want it to go, take over. If you want something very specific to happen, like let's down the ball, right? My point was, let's make sure that is communicated to Shadeur, not put it in his hands to say, you do what you feel is right. Because Shadeur has been erratic at times where he tries to help his friends out or try to make a decision. He's thinking that it's going to work. Those are the decisions I'm saying. We need to have some decisions that Prime holds to him and he makes and say, no, we're going to down the ball. This is how I wanted to go as a head coach. So it doesn't mean that Shadeur doesn't make great decisions. It doesn't mean that I'm saying Prime should never trust him. Prime should trust him. But to a percentage, 60-80, 60-40, 60-80, 60-40, 70-30, something. It can't be 100%. Because there has to be a time where we understand what's about to happen. Prime needs an identity as a coach, right? Prime needs an identity as a coach. His identity cannot be tied to Shadeur because Shadeur is about to leave. When Shadeur leaves, is Prime's identity going to show now, or is it going to be, well, now I'm going to let you guys know who I am now that I don't have Shadeur? No, we need to know this. You can look at all of the Big 12 coaches. Malzahn is coming up, right? You can look at a certain coach and you can tell on a 4th down, 4th and 1, he's not going to go for it. You know that if the coach is if the game is on the line, you know whether that coach can take risks or not. So yeah, we need to know what Coach Prime's identity is. And I don't know that we know Coach Prime's identity for sure because Coach Prime trusts Shadeur so much that we don't know his identity because we don't know if it's him making those decisions or if it's Shadeur's making those decisions. That's why I say don't trust Shadeur 100%. We need to know who you are as a coach because you're not going to have a Shadeur all the time. We need to know that you can commandeer a game. We need to know that you as a coach, as a head coach of Colorado, we need to know that you can take a game from top to bottom and coach it and beat the next coach, hands down, even with the lesser talent on the offensive line. That's what defines coaches. That's when you can tell this guy knows what he's doing. That's when you can tell this guy is legit. That's how you can tell a coach and what their identity is because they show it. At this point, Coach Prime's identity is tied with Shadeur. When Shadeur leaves, what would you say is Coach Prime's identity? I don't know that many of y'all can define Coach Prime's coaching style, his identity, who he really is, because he has a Shadeur as a comfort zone. And the comfort zone sometimes could be a little bit too comfortable. So that's why I say that. But I got a little bit of help today. Colorado won that game. So happy that Colorado won. And for those of you who can't be happy, for those of you who have not enjoyed who were not able to bash in the glory of that game and how epic it was, and that's what football is made of. That was caught an escape. Like that game was straight TV. It went down to the wire. The last 2 seconds, and we won it in overtime. If the live before that game, I asked y'all and I told y'all, let's talk about identity. And I said, this game, Colorado needs to use this game to identify or to define their identity. It happened in that game. And let me tell you how it happened. Your identity sometimes is seabed with resilience, never giving up, playing till the clock ends, playing till you see 0-0-0. That's how you kind of like you are able to define some teams. You can look at other teams at the end of the day, at the end of a game, and you can look at them and you'll see something like this. When they're down, you look at their faces. You can tell what's happening in the fans. You can tell what the score is, and you can tell who really has the momentum. Look at the fans when the camera pans to the fans and look at them. You'll see their faces. I don't know how many of y'all watched the Monday Night Football game where the Buffalo Bills, all right, one of my New York teams, right? The Buffalo Bills, who God bless their heart. All right, they've been to the playoffs. They just can't find a Super Bowl. They can't find a Super Bowl ring, all right, in the Super Bowl Hall of Fame, okay? If they went to the Super Bowl Hall of Fame museum, they would not know how to find a Super Bowl ring, all right? But anyway, you could tell that their opponent was losing by just looking at their fans. They're looking dejected and all of that. You can do the same thing when they're paying on the sideline. When the camera goes on the players, they're holding they're holding their pass like this. Their heads are down. Colorado never had that on that sideline. You saw that in Nebraska. Because I told you there was like one guy, he was sitting like this. Sitting on the sideline like this for the whole world to see and to put the camera on him. A team that has that kind of attitude, they don't know who they are. But in this game, in the Baylor game, Colorado was up and energetic all the way until it was no time left on the clock. That's a team that is identifying themselves. That is a bunch of guys who are locked in. And this is what's great for that. For those of you who just can't be happy for Colorado, you want to talk about everything that went wrong. All right. For those of you who just can't find a happy bone in your body, this is what happens. In the beginning of college football, day number 1, week number 1, week number 2, week number 3, you're not necessarily going to see that team, perform their best. But guess what's happening though? Confidence is growing. Camaraderie. Things that are intangible or untangible things are happening. Is it intangible or untangible? I don't know. Y'all can figure it out in the comments. All right. Brotherhood is happening. Love is growing. Because one thing I want to explain to you, when you and somebody are in the trenches, let's say your partner, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, let's say this, you first get together and everything's going well. You're not necessarily going to learn the character of that person until things start to go wrong. Let me repeat that for some of y'all. Maybe y'all missed that. Your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your partner, whoever you got. You just meet that person. Everything's going well. You're in your honeymoon period. That's not the time where you know the person's character. Same thing as a football team, right? You get recruited, you come here, or you know your assignment, you know who you are. Hey, man, you're getting NIL, you're getting the most paid, or you're not getting no money at all. You're not necessarily going to know who those people are. But something's going to transpire. You go through a game like Baylor, and you see people's eyes. You look into the eyes of the teammates that you have. Somebody drops the ball, but they don't give up. LeJante may have had a drop. He doesn't give up. He keeps pressing. The people that are on his team, his teammates, are picking that up. That's what's happening. So that's why you cannot judge a team when it's just Nebraska, because I told y'all, Nebraska scarred me. Okay? That Nebraska game did a number on me. Because the team that I saw at Nebraska is not the same team that I saw with Baylor. So they learned something from Nebraska. And then they learned something from CSU. And then everything they learned from Nebraska, CSU, and DSU, they applied it with Baylor. And then comes Baylor. Everything they went through with Baylor, with the rain, balls being slippery, and people not being able to run the same routes and cut the same way, and all of those things, every single element that went into that game. Seeing the fact that your fan base was so happy, putting the smile on your fan base, it does something to that human being, to that player. They learn from that, and they're going to apply it to the next game because they want to see that again. So what's going to transpire is in their spirit man gets a little stronger. What's up, Shirley? Their spirit man gets a little stronger. Your spirit man should grow from week to week to week. Your confidence should grow from week to week to week. Your brotherhood should grow, because when you see me fighting and you're fighting next to me and you saw that I didn't give up on you, that should change the inside of you, your spirit man. That should change who you are inside of you. So the more you fight together as a brotherhood, the more synergy is affected. That's why you got to give people a chance to grow. That's why you got to give them grace to grow. Right? So we go to UCF and we win that game. Nebraska starts to dissipate. The sting of Nebraska, that sting of losing and how we lost, how we had no answers, that sting of Oregon last year, that sting starts to dissipate because you see these guys, they're fighting every week. And it doesn't just happen with the fan base, right? It happens to the players. They're growing and they're growing and they're growing. The next game, the same guys that played in that Baylor game are not going to be the same guys that play UCF. This is how football works. Those guys are going to be, that's going to be a new set of guys this week. On Saturday, there's going to be a whole new set of guys this week because something transpires spiritually. All right? We're not talking about church, Jesus, or anything like that. Every single human being is a spiritual human being, okay? So something transpired with them spiritually. Something happened spiritually that you're not able to see. Something happened. All right? Did you see the title of this video? Hail Mary, Mother of God. Was it luck? Did Colorado get lucky? Or are they growing the right way? That's why I'm talking the way I'm talking. Colorado is growing right in front of our eyes. All of our eyes. Colorado is growing week from week from week. Every game, Coach Prime is learning. Lodholt is learning. Phillips is learning. Livingston is learning. Levante Bentley is learning. Trevor Woods is learning. Our little freshman Micah, is it Micah Welch? Learning. Gustav is, the guys that have an opportunity to play are learning. The guys that don't even have an opportunity to play, they're learning too. And waiting for their chance. Okay, they're standing on the sideline and they're like, if I go in, I know exactly what to do. I know that if I go in, this is my one chance to prove to them that I can do this so that they can trust me to put me in the game more. They're learning too. So game from game, the whole team is learning. If you can't bring yourself to really be happy for this team, it's time for you to reevaluate how you think about Prime and how you think about Colorado. I keep telling you, I'm a Colorado fan. But before Colorado, it was Prime. I'm a Prime fan. So I still have Prime's best interest at heart. There's a lot of things that Prime does that I don't like at all. As a man and as a Christian man, there's a lot of things that Prime does that I don't like. There's a lot of Christian rappers. I'll give you one of them. There's a lot of Christian rappers, Christian rappers, right? I think they call it holy hip hoppers. I don't see any alignment with any of them with Prime. And then he's a Christian, right? Everything is like secular music and cussing and guys saying a lot of things that I wouldn't play for my son, my 9-year-old son, or my 17-year-old son. That's one thing that I don't like about it. But does that mean I don't like Prime? No, it's just a disagreement with that. That's it. Some of the things that the way he handles his press conferences as a Christian man, being a humble man, some things he said, does everything, do I like everything about that? No. But see, that's the thing about me. Even though I express that I don't like those things, it doesn't change my love for Prime, the things that I love about him. Because some people put their heroes on pedestals and they should not have no idols. Prime is not an idol for me. I don't have him on no pedestal. I just have him down here with me as a man. He's a man with children. I'm a man with children. He's teaching his children the best way he can. I'm teaching my children the best way I can. I'm not a blind idol worshiper of Prime. So I feel free as a man to criticize him when I don't like things about him. Some people don't like when I say these things, and they unsubscribe when I'm done with my video. I see the numbers going down because they don't like, oh, don't say nothing negative about Prime. Oh, you don't like Prime? Maybe. Who are you? You're just a freaking YouTuber. That's how you feel because you have Prime on a different level than I have him at. See, I'm settled. I'm a man's man. Prime is a man's man. The reason why I'm a man's man is because my instructions come from Jesus Christ. So does his. So he and I know that we can't be worshiping each other. We know that. Prime know that, and I know that. If I see Prime, I'm like, yo, what up? That's it. Oh my gosh, Prime! Like, are you kidding me? You think I'm gonna fall out because I see a celebrity? You must be joking. I told you guys I work in the industry, so I've already got that out of my system. Not gonna happen ever. Oh my gosh, hey Prime, it's you. Can I get a shout out, Prime? Bruh. I say, yo, Prime, can I get a shout out? Hey, Shadeur, can I get a shout out? But that's where it ends for me. That's it. It ain't no worshiping going on here. So my critique of him comes in me being comfortable inside of a man's body that I am, and not some fanboy sitting over here can't say nothing if he does something wrong. But see, the thing about me is that that's not where it ends. Some people, they just want to feel the anger, and they want other people to be angry with them. Just the same way they feel, they want everybody to feel the same way. You and I can have a disagreement, but doesn't mean I'm going to be angry with you. And I hope I'm speaking to somebody out there. If you and I agree that Prime did something wrong, that does not mean that I hate Prime now because you hate him. And I think that's where the fork hits the road for some people, because I agree with you, or because you and I share I didn't like that, it does not mean that because you hate him, I hate him. No, as a Christian man, I just know how I'm supposed to move. There are things that Prime does that does not represent my Christianity. A lot of things. And I express it. I'm like, nah, that's not. Yeah, we don't. As a Christian man, we're not supposed to do that. But Prime is not supposed to be perfect, and I don't have him on no pedestal. That's as far as it goes for me. But some of y'all say y'all like Prime, but y'all have no grace for this man. Just like y'all have no grace for me. Y'all may like my content. Y'all may like the videos that I create because I bring some information that may help you. But you just don't have enough grace to like me enough to subscribe to my channel. Some people are not giving you as much information as I'm giving you, or they don't even have my energy, but you subscribe to their channel because they're linked with what you think or what you like. And that is perfectly fine. But why can't it be just okay? Why can't it just be that? You and I would be like, yeah, we good with that. If you like somebody, just like them. If you don't like somebody, don't tell me. I don't need to know all that. You're showing me your insecurities when you do that. You may have Prime on a pedestal. I don't. Okay? You are a celebrity worshiper. I'm not. Because I have worked with celebrities. Like I told y'all, I've directed DMX himself, may his soul rest in power. DMX, the rapper, before he died, I directed him. I have gone places in my career that a lot of people that have not been. So when they see celebrities, they see them in a different light. When I see a celebrity, I just see a man or a woman. That's it. Or maybe a child celebrity. That is it. When I see children's celebrities, I have walked children's celebrities to set. I have protected Adam Sandler's baby from being photographed. I have done so much in my career. So for me, celebrities are just human beings, just like yourself. Some of y'all are not there yet. So your comment to me, the way you approach me, is as if you and I are the same people. You and I worship Prime together. So you're typing, oh, who are you? And da-da-da-da-da. That's what you're typing. But you're thinking that I'm you. You're thinking that I hold Prime at this high esteem, just like you do, and I should do the same. So when I criticize him like a man should, you think that's wrong because you hold him to a higher esteem than I do. Why am I saying all of this? I'm saying all of this because this is where I lie with my critique of Prime. If I'm cool with Prime being being not perfect, if I'm cool with Prime being just a human being trying his best, if I'm cool with Prime just being who he is, man, I can be happy for him. I can celebrate for him, with him, and still criticize him. When he does good, I can say he did good without feeling some kind of way inside of me. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm telling you how myself process information. So for me, it's not up or down. It's not saying, oh, Shadeur's perfect. And then in the same breath, because when I'm watching the games with y'all, the second the defense makes a mistake, the special teams all of a sudden sucks. It's like y'all not are y'all not processing that way? Sometimes we think the way we are is how other people are, and maybe that's my fault. Because for me, because I'm such a man's man, I'm confident in who I am. I just see things as plain as plainly supposed to be seen. If something bad happened, it's not that somebody is bad. It's like something bad happened. That's it. You feel me? If number 14 drops the ball, number 14 is not the worst football player. Take him out of the game, or if they take him out, they're just taking him out to motivate him. But yeah, but the way that y'all are, the way that y'all see the game is different from me. Because right now, y'all are happy with Colorado. It was the same way last year. The same way. When Colorado's winning, everything is great. When Colorado is not winning, then they are the worst team. When the offensive line blocks for Shadeur and NDSU and CSU and for Baylor, then the offensive line is good. When they can't do it, if they don't do it against UCF and we, God forbid, we lose, then the offensive line sucks again. You see how you're up and down with how you process information? I am not that way. That's why I can enjoy the games. Because when I'm judging things or when I'm applying critique, my critique has a lot to do with their abilities, putting them in positions to win, giving them opportunities to maximize their abilities. And if they're not put in a position to maximize their abilities, I know what can go wrong. So that's what my brain is processing. Shantae, what up with you? Phil So Real, what up with you? So that's what my brain goes. Is, okay, I know I got a fish, right? It's a fish. It's not something else that can climb a tree. So if you're taking the fish out of the water and you're putting him on land and say, okay, let's run. Let me see how fast you can run. My brain is going to calculate, oh, that's a fish. So he's not going to run. You got to put him in water so he can swim fast. So he can't run. So that's not how you use him. So my judgment of that thing or how I assess that information, I'm going to say, oh, okay, Charlie Offerdale is not really that bad of a running back. They're just not using Charlie Offerdale the way that they're supposed to use him. But y'all come to conclusions because you see Micah Welch and you see other guys really maximizing their power. You see them doing good because Colorado doesn't really move anybody on that offensive line. So, but Micah Welch has the strength, Gustav has the strength, and they can make room for themselves. To y'all, that communicates, oh, then Charlie Offerdale must suck then. My brain doesn't tick that way. My brain says, no, Charlie Offerdale is actually a good running back because I've seen it in the practices. I've seen him do some really good things. But what they got to do is put him in space. They can't run in the same way because Charlie Offerdale doesn't have the same strength that Michael Welch has. He doesn't. It's obvious, right? But do I come to a conclusion and say, oh, Charlie sucks? No, I don't do that. So that's how I approach life overall. So now that you know, and I know a lot of y'all already know that. I know y'all know that. Some of y'all know that. So you're cool with me. You're like, man, Harry B, why you always got to keep saying this stuff? We already know that, bro. Let's just talk football. I'm talking football. But yeah, so for me, when you come to this channel to find an assessment of the game, you're not gonna find me coming with were definites. Like they suck, they don't suck. For y'all, it's like y'all were looking for good and bad. I'm not looking for good and bad. I'm looking for nuances. I'm evaluating the game through nuances. There are things that's happening. I know it was wet. So what I saw through the game, through the fact that the field was wet, you know what I saw? I was looking for, how do they cut? Because I know, just like Travis Hunter and Mathis, I know they cut a certain way. And being an athlete, even with cleats on, I know that when you're on either turf or you're on some type of grass, when you're running full speed to even come to a stop, it's a little bit different. So the game, both of them played, differently. So, but I know that we have the skill set, and we ended up winning with our skill set. Now, let's just say there's no rain, there's no weather issue with UCF, and you will see Colorado respond differently. I watch the game that way. I look for nuances. What is affecting them? What's going on? We have Versace on the channel not too long ago in the preseason saying, no, Harry B, these guys are playing at night. Who's planning these games? Their sleep pattern is off. These guys are tired. They have to wait all day. So there's nuances. There's nuances that's happening in the game. A lot of y'all don't really care about none of that stuff. Y'all just want results. Wins or loss. Did they win? Did they lose? You pick your head up. You're busy in your life doing anything else. Maybe you're an accountant. Maybe you're a doctor. You're a nurse. You're just doing whatever you do. You pick your head up, right? And then you see win. You're happy. Colorado's great. For some of y'all, you see W. You go in there. I told you they suck. That's it for you. You're not invested like I'm invested. I'm looking for nuances. So when I watch other teams, now I have to start watching. I've been trying to find tapes. And if anybody that's in the chat can help me, how do I find the full games? All right. Can y'all help me to find the full games? Because for me to get Hulu plus TV, live TV, and all that stuff is way too expensive. Like $70-some, $82 after October the 2nd. They're going to $82. $82 is not conducive to my financial health right now. So I can't make that decision. It'll be a bad decision, and then God will hold me accountable for making that decision, even if it's just for football. So if anybody knows how to find full games of any Big 12 teams, all right, I need all the Big 12 teams, their full games. I need UCF's games. If anybody has a link, just send it to that email right there, jointlplive@gmail.com. Send me the full games of any Big 12 games, all right? I want to see the full game. I don't want to see highlights, because then it doesn't really help me to find those nuances that I'm talking about. So yeah, so now I start looking at the nuances for UCF, and then I look for little key points. I'm like, okay, what is the coach doing? What is he doing here? Why is he making this decision? Once I find those, I make videos and I tell you, oh no, Colorado is going to be good for this reason. Colorado has talent that can take this talent. If I don't see those nuances and I don't see that Colorado can win, I've looked at Texas Tech. I looked at so many games, and I'm like, yeah, that O-line is going to sack us at least 20 times, and it's a wrap. So that's how I come to my conclusions. All right. So for those of you who, I haven't even checked my email. I had to do it this way because I had to get that out. Because once I have a panel, I can't be selfish and just be talking myself, right? I kind of like have to adhere to my panel and ask them questions and try to get their thoughts. So that's why I took so long to go to my panel. But let's do it. Let's go to the panel. All right. So jointlplive@gmail.com is the email for those of you who want to join the panel. Let's talk. I want to hear different points of view. I want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly. What did you see? How is Colorado going to fare off with I'm going to try to save like maybe the Friday live stream for us to talk more so about UCF, but we can talk about UCF tonight. This briefly, just talk about them tonight. Graciano, what's up with you? Hope all is well. So yeah, so let's come on here. I want everybody to get it out of the system. All right. If you felt like Colorado has something to what you want them to change, let's talk about it. All right. So email me, or I'll just keep talking like I'm doing right now. Let me just say hi to my people, though. My people be holding me down. Let me just say hi to my people. Triple Cross, what up with you? Tim Smith, what up, my guy? Dallas is in the building, baby. Brooklyn's Scoop Brooklyn, not Brooklyn Scoop. Scoop Brooklyn's in the building. We've been doing this. That's right. What up with you, Todd? What up with you? TH, what's up, Harry? It was luck. Okay. TH said, okay, let me put TH on the screen here. TH said, Harry, it was luck. Yes, it was very entertaining, but let's keep it a buck. If the DB covering Western didn't trip due to the rain, the game would be Baylor's win. But luck is part of football, so kudos to CU. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of stuff I want to hear. Like, okay, that's an opinion, right? It's an opinion. Guess what? When you say if the DB covering this person didn't trip, if that guy number 14, please somebody tell me his name, if he doesn't drop that ball, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ifs. There's so many ifs. And the ifs, the thing that bugs me the most is the ifs only work for the other teams. For some of y'all. See, Tia just said, look, it happens in football. It goes both ways. So kudos to CU. Some of y'all cannot bring yourself to do that. You would just be like, it's luck. Wait till you see what UCF do to them. You see what I'm saying? How can you talk to someone with that kind of thinking? That's why some people you can't spend too much energy with them. Because CU can't do every week is going to be something different. Every single week is going to be something different. Football is football. Every week is going to be different. You're already saying CU because CU is down 12 points or whatever. CU is the dog, 12 points. That's it. People are saying that UCF is going to mollywop CU. Wait till that offense. Wait till you see their pass rush. Oh my gosh! This is what I've been saying all off season, preseason. Are you sure that they're good? Because CSU wasn't good, NDSU wasn't good after that. After we lost, after we won. Okay, Baylor was not all that great after we won. And because they came in and their offense, I think it was their passing offense or their pass stopping offense was number 1 in the country. But then of course we get the but it was just because they didn't face anybody that had a good offense. So it's like, okay, you see what I'm saying? So let's make sure that they're good. Are y'all sure that UCF is good? Because the CU that is going to show up is not going to be the Nebraska CU. I just want to let y'all know that. Am I prescribing a win? Of course, because I'm a CU fan, I'm always going to say CU is going to win, right? Until it comes to like some other teams. So no, CU will be competitive in this game. But I just want to make sure y'all understand. Is CU that bad? Their offensive line, is it that bad that you think, or no, forget about CU being that bad. Is UCF that good? Because I don't want that to change when CU wins, right? That's where I'm at with it. Every opponent, we find their flaws after the game. And if the CU lost, then their positives were much better than their negatives. If CU wins, their negatives were way bigger than their positives. That's what's happening here. Colorado assessment would never change. The only time Colorado's assessment will really change, we got to beat one of these teams that are so good. Like college football has really crowned them that they're really good. And who's that going to be? We're going to take out Tennessee. We're going to take out Texas. We're going to take out Alabama, Georgia. We're going to take out Ohio State. Let's just go to the Big 12. Colorado will have to beat Utah, not really Kansas because they've been kind of iffy this year. K-State, they just took an L to a lesser team, but K-State, maybe. Iowa State, maybe. CU is going to have to beat a really, really good team for some of these football purists to just say, all right, CU is all right. Just to bring them to say, that CU is all right this year. Now we get there, I'll be fine. I would take the CU's, you know what? CU's all right. From certain people, I know who they are. I know who these people are. I talk to a lot of people when it comes to this here YouTube thing. If I know there are 3 people that I know already, that if they say CU is all right this year, then I know that I know what they mean. All right. And that'll be okay for me. Period. Point blank, period. All right, King P says, I gamble, can't drink Kool-Aid. That's great. That's a great point. If you are a money man, if you put money on these games, then you cannot allow yourself to be too happy, too cold, too hot. You got to be like a person that thinks strategically about your money, because this is your money that you work hard for. King P, what do you do for a living? Depending on what you do for a living, maybe you are a realtor. Maybe you work in a doctor's office. Maybe you're a doctor. Maybe you are a financier. Maybe you're a financial person, an accountant, something. Whatever you do, you're working hard for your money, my guys. All right, and my gals. So if your money is on the line, the way you approach these things is going to be different. So some of y'all are seeing some of these guys like King P, right? When they comment, you're taking them as hate, but they're like, bruh, I ain't got time for y'all. I ain't got no time for your hate and your no hate. I got money on the line. I work hard for my money, and the way I treat my money has to not have any kind of emotions attached to it. That's how some of us approach the game. All right. Some of us football purists, that's how we approach the game. It ain't about hating Prime or loving Prime or anything like that. It's just some of us just approach the game that way. Now, I just happen to love Prime. Okay, I love Prime as a man. So yes, I dip in the warm and fuzzies. Pause. I think you can't dip in the warm and fuzzies with Prime. Like that would be kind of weird. But yeah, pause on that. Pause that. Pause. Oh God. But because I like Prime and because I'm a fan of Prime, yeah, a lot of my take on Prime and some of the things he does are going to be biased to the fact that I like him. You feel me? Like, yeah, so I hold him upright. That's what I do on this channel. I've told you that. That's not no secret. Mike says what? Harry B could have made so much money last 2 seasons if listened to a white guy. Hey, Mike, I don't my white boy. I can't say my white boyfriend no more. I gotta be careful how I say that. My boy, listen, I don't bet, so I'm not a betting man. So I don't go along those lines. So that's so listen, the way that I approach the game is different. But like I said, nuances. You look for nuances. Some people say Colorado just sucks. A lot of y'all are crazy if you think Colorado just sucks. Colorado has talent. Now, the talent has to come from everywhere. The players, there's a lot of talent on the player side, but the coaching staff, I don't know that the talent on the field is not they don't have the same coaching staff talent. If you want to evaluate the talent from a coaching staff, if you were to compare the on-field talent the on-field talent versus the coaching talent, how would you rate it? Let's play a little game real quick. For those of you who are out here, how do you rate the talent on the field, the players, and how do you rate the coach's talent? How do I do this? Let's do it from 1 to 10. Colorado has this amount of talent from 1 to 10. 1 to 10, Colorado has this amount of talent on the coaching staff. Give me a number. If I was to rate the talent on the field, I'm going 8 for on-field talent. I'm going 8. And for those of you who are watching on my Billionaires Mindset channel, guys, salute to y'all. That's my polysocial channel where I talk about politics and culture. And then I try to infuse religion to that. So yeah, I try to tie everything with my religion and culture and stuff. That's the Billionaires Mindset. That's that channel. So salute to everybody watching from over there. All right. So on-field talent, I will give it an 8. That's from 1 to 10. Colorado has +8 talent. Now, coaching talent, I'm giving a 6+. So to me, the coaching talent does not equal the on-field talent. That's just my opinion. I don't feel like the coaching staff is equal to the talent they got. If it was, Colorado would be dominant in certain areas because coaching matters. Coaching absolutely matters. You got to put the players in positions to win. And I don't feel confident enough to say that the coaching staff has always been able to put the talent that they have in the right positions to win. I don't feel that. I'm giving them a 6+. 6. And you got a +8 talent. Think about that. That matters, man. That means that if you want to take a Nick Saban and bring his staff and you give them that talent, just the same way that we say, if you take Shadeur Sanders and you put him on an Alabama team, LSU, Miami, not Nebraska, well, maybe Nebraska. If you were to put Shadeur and you plant him in those situations, like he would be like the hands down. Him and Travis would be hands down number 1 and number 2. No questions asked. Now, if you were to take, if you took Nick Saban, Malzahn, or all these other Big 12 coaches, maybe not all of them, but some of them. Maybe not the Baylor guy because we just beat him. So I don't know. But if you were to take the top coaches in the Big 12 and you put them on the Colorado talent, I believe, that's just my opinion, I believe that they will be able to maximize the talent that Colorado has better than what we currently have on that coaching staff. That's what I believe. I give them a 6+. The entire staff, from Coach Prime all the way down to the last person, training, everything. I don't care. Everyone. That's how I look at it. So that has to mean something. That means that we got players. Colorado has players. So that's just how it goes. I mean, you cannot, and I don't know if the reverse is the same. You also cannot you cannot take Colorado's staff and give them, this is going to be a little controversial. I know a lot of you are about to freak out. I don't know that you can take Colorado's staff and put them on a Nebraska team and they will be the same. It will be the same. It's a little bit weird because I know the talent level is different. So yeah, maybe they'll be able to fake it a lot more than they can make it. Maybe. So those nuances. Maybe it's a little bit unfair, to tell you the truth, because yeah, I mean, if you just take Coach Prime and his boys, Coach Prime and his staff, and you put them in Georgia or Alabama or LSU, maybe the talent level would mask some of the mistakes they make, mask some of the lack of talent that they have, right? So that's a little bit weird. So let's just say, okay, take Coach Prime's staff and put them on Nebraska. Do they get the same results? I don't know. It's obviously I don't know, right? Take Coach Prime's staff and let's swap Baylor. All right, if they have Baylor and we had the staff from Baylor, does the results change? I don't know, but I just feel like our coaching staff is not the best. It's not. But we got good talent from those young men. I really feel that way. I'm telling you. Oh, Nebraska is still ranked 29th. Okay. So true, but Central, okay, so UCF should be okay, but us, I don't know what that means. All right, so let's take a look at what some of the PFF guys had to say because I did write up some of this stuff, and I got chewed out a little bit by some people because Colorado can't buy a break. So let me get a little bit of help with this. Oh, let me check the email. Make sure nobody's trying to come on, and I'm okay. Hey, Ron, I think I sent you the link already, my guy. All right. Let me send Ron take the link in case he wants to come on. This is what my guy Ron Tate sent me, and I thought it was pretty good. So let's go ahead and dig into this. We'll take it one,
Another Big 12 one. Colorado beating Baylor 38-31 in this game. And man, we did not think we were going to talk about this one entering the day.
What a shot of adrenaline this was.
Boy, this was 38-31 in overtime, I should have said, in this game as well. Let's go over the 5 highest grade players for Colorado. Start off in this game. First one is the hero, Shadeur Sanders, 86.4, completing that Hail Mary with no time left to tie the game. Travis Hunter, 84.5. The cornerback, Travis Hunter, 84.5. Nakai Hill Green, the linebacker, 82.8. Shane Cokes, the D tackle, 74.5. And the wide receiver, Travis Hunter, at a 74. So the corner and receiver, once again, is one of the 5 highest graded players for Colorado, both of them. For Baylor in this game, Hal Presley, the wide receiver, at a 78.8. Lorando Johnson at 71.7. Monterey Baldwin at 70.6. DJ Coleman at a 70. And Steve Litton, former Syracuse great, and we could have used you, Steve, on Friday night, but he graded out to 69.7 in this game.
I can't with you.
Don, I'm still not over it.
So how many of y'all out there really take these grades seriously? Because we don't like on-3. We don't really like PFF. So, but again, people use these grades, and people use these grades to evaluate talent. Hey, Ron, I sent the link already, my guy. So yeah. So how many of y'all take these grades with a grain of salt? How many of y'all like these grades? Ron Tate, what up with you, man? Welcome to the show, my brother. How you doing today?
Hey, Harry. How's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Man, I'm just calling in to hear about some of these nuances.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of nuances, and again, a lot of people don't understand there are nuances, and my frustration running a channel like this, being in smack in the middle of college football, especially with one of the hottest teams, Colorado, is the fact that some people just can't be happy. Some people can't find a happy bone in their body when things go well. And then Colorado's numbers are never the same as other people's numbers. Like, for instance, what I'm showing you right now, the PFS grades, that's what college football uses for the most part. I mean, you can take it for a grain of salt or whatever you want, but people use PFF to say, okay, these are the grades. This is what they were able to do in game, and they do a pretty good job to say these grades at least represent their efforts. I mean, give or take, maybe some things that may not be 1,000% accurate. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But some people just can't take these grades when it favors Colorado. It's always like, oh, if you see a 98.3 from a DJ Lundy, then that's like the world. But then they're 0-3, or I don't know where they are right now. What are your thoughts on that, man? Let me get somebody else talking in a second.
Well, listen, I think the numbers, these are their numbers. These are their numbers, and these are the things that they're saying. And they're talking about the CU run defense. They're talking about, Nakai Hill Green. Like, they say that Nakai Hill Green has a grade. PFF says that he has a 91.7 on the season as his grade so far this year as a linebacker. And they have the linebackers of CU rated third in FBS. Third in FBS. So it's no fluke. It's no fluke that they are performing the way they are performing, and that the defensive line, even though they have some guys that are hurt, and hopefully they'll be back for the UCF game. But, you know, I love this, using their numbers to grade what we believe is the effort of the CU football team.
But it's like, okay, if we got the numbers from the other team, it's like people think that's more valid than if we got it for CU. And if that's not the most frustrating thing, it's so weird. It's like I posted a little bit of this, and then I get laughing emojis, clown emojis, and it's like, bro, like, huh? So it's okay if it was said about the other team, but it's not okay if it's said about Colorado. When are we going to get to a place where we just say, okay, let them play football and let the results, come out? Just let it just be as pure as numbers. There's nothing more pure than numbers. Well, besides Jesus, right? So anyways, let's listen.
Jonte Wester. FAU legend, catching that Hail Mary too. Don't forget him.
Saving Will Shepherd, by the way, from Colorado fans hating him, because Will Shepherd dropped that pass.
I've never seen anything like that, and I don't know that we will again.
Yeah.
You got a Hail Mary that he would have scored on.
Yep.
That Will Shepherd dropped, and they come back the next play and catch the next
Will
one.
Shepherd flat tooth.
Let me preface this by letting people know this is not a Colorado channel. This is PFF. This is not Colorado. This is not a Colorado favorite channel. Like, so these guys, if Colorado stunk up the place, lost that game, you would see them going in about Colorado. I don't know that these, Ryan, you send me the link, you can let me know. Like, I don't know that these guys they like Colorado either way. I think they just talk football.
No, they just talk football. They go through all of the games each weekend, and they grade and evaluate the efforts of each team
based on purely numbers. That's it. That all they're doing is just pure numbers. Like, okay, based on how many tackles or how many times they were able to stop the quarterback from getting rushed, those are just pure numbers. For those of you who are out there who may think like, oh, you can't play a Colorado channel and think that people are just going to fall in love with it. But anyway,
I don't know if we'll ever see that again. That this entire game, first of all, was just incredible.
Yeah.
Front to back, haymakers.
It's a Big 12 game.
We had Baylor's pass rush getting after in the second half. You had a kick return touchdown. You had diving catches. You had crazy throws. You had everything. It was just, what an awesome football game this.
That's football, guys. That's football. And if you get a football purist to say, if you call yourself a football purist and you just didn't fall in love with this game, then I question your purity. I question your purity because they can articulate it. Haymakers, you know what I'm saying? Drop passes, Hail Marys, all these things that are happening in a football game. It's fun. Enjoy, guys. Come on.
And look, I'm gonna peel it back a little bit here. Story for me, and it's actually over the last 2 weeks, is Colorado's run defense. I've been saying in the Big 12, two things are going to win the Big 12: quarterback play, run defense. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Utah's kind of getting that when Rising's healthy, and their run D was really good against Oklahoma State. BYU's run defense, right? We're seeing Colorado right now. Look, last night as a team, an 86.1 run defense grade. That is their highest run D grade since 2018.
Wow.
Let that sink in for 1 second. 2018. All right. 86.1 is their highest run D grade since 2018. So, I mean, some of y'all, I know, I got to be very cautious how I present this information because at the end of the day, not everybody look at these numbers and say Colorado's good or Colorado's bad. But the numbers are just presented to let you know that, okay, if they're saying for Baylor, these are what they're able to accomplish based on the information based on the real data. So I just want to let y'all know that these are not emotional things we're dealing with here.
And last week was their highest run D grade since 2018 with an 85.2.
All right.
Last season, it's their second straight week over an 85. Last season, they were 122nd in run defense grade.
Hey, Ron, you can hear this, right? I just if y'all can hear it, let me know. I just want to make sure that I'm not. All right, cool.
They're 15th right now. Holy. And there's
y'all missed that. Let me back it up. So Colorado's run defense is did he say defense or defense? Run defense. Let me
last season, it's their second straight week over an 85. Last season, they were 122nd in run defense grade. They're 15th right now. Holy. And
there are 132 teams in college football, right? In run defense, Colorado is currently ranked 15th in the nation in college football overall. That's including Georgia, Alabama, everybody else, Ohio State. Yes, every single person. Colorado is ranked 15th overall in run defense. So that means that so far, even though if you watch the game live, if you saw the game, what you're going to be able to say is, okay, the quarterback play, the quarterback was able to run at will pretty much. When they did quarterback sneaks, we couldn't get that. Now, what does that say though? What is telling me is that Colorado has a few things to fix. If Colorado is able to go back, watch the films and say, okay, what was happening here? Why was the quarterback able to run easily like this? Maybe we get out of man when certain plays. I don't know how that works. You can't get out of man and go zone coverage if you don't know what's coming. So I get that part of it, but maybe Colorado, if we're gonna go man, maybe put a quarterback, what's the name? Spy. Right. You put a quarterback spy to make sure that, because every single time, if you saw the center, not the center, but if you saw the guy that was down center, if you saw that, he was getting pitched in. Whenever the quarterback was going to run, he gets pitched in, and then it opened up a big old hole. So what you do is you drop a man in the box, and you say, if that quarterback runs, your job is to stop him. Make sure you don't get pinched. Make sure you don't get sandwiched. Stay loose. Stay vigilant. All right, I'm just talking these terms because I don't know football terms. I'm sorry, guys. Please forgive me. This is my year and a half, okay? And I'm still learning. By next year, I'll be even better.
You're doing good, Harry. You're doing good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So, yeah, you put a spot in the box, and you say your job is make sure you stop the quarterback. Don't get pinched. Don't get sandwiched. All right? Leave room for yourself. Let him beat us. Let that quarterback beat us if he's good. But we're going to make sure that he doesn't get those big runs. So that's an easy fix. At least I think it's an easy fix. That's one of the things that they can fix. So if you were looking at that and you say, well, Colorado got beat so many times on the run, no. 86 doesn't mean that they got beat on the run. It means that they got a few big runs. If you're watching the game live and you're just watching for good and bad, you would say Colorado cannot stop the run. But that was not the case. Colorado's run defense was able to do that night, to stop Baylor's runs. Obviously, there are going to be a few runs that get out of there. So that's part of it. Let's keep going, guys.
There is a huge difference. I'm going to tell you, especially at linebacker. Okay, we talked about earlier in the year. They at linebacker. Okay, and we talked about a bunch of transfer guys they've brought in, right? Okunlola.
Hey, Tim, if you want to come on the show, bro, check your email because I see an attachment that's not coming through. I don't know if you want to come on the show or you send me something. You send me an attachment. But check your email. I think I sent you the link already, Tim. I'm going to send it to you again. Maybe you didn't get it. I don't know. But yeah, if you're trying to come on the show. Oh, okay, here goes the. Oh, okay. I see what you sent me. Thank you. All right. Okay, so I got. Oh, okay. This is good stuff, Tim. Thank you, man. So Tim is sending me some statistics to help a brother out, man. See, my guys look out for me. They know that I don't know certain things, and they try to hold me down. That's what you call a family, man. That's not make fun of you. Oh, you don't know anything about football type stuff. If you know I'm lacking in something, help me out. Don't make fun of me. Anyways, some of y'all are you're insecure. Okay. Hey, Hey, Tim, man, thank you for coming to the show and helping me out, man. I appreciate you. How you doing today, brother?
Hey, I'm doing well, Harry. How about yourself? Ron, what's up, man?
I'm good, my guy. So, all right, so Tim, okay, I'm playing this thing, and these guys are breaking down the numbers. So we're kind of going through this real quick so that we can get more of an idea of how Colorado, did and how their defense is doing, and then we can talk about a few things that we can change that we saw. All right.
BJ Green, Chidozie Nwankwo, right? And one guy I'm going to highlight real quick in this is Nikai Hill-Green, who had that huge grade in this game and an 88.8 run defense grade this week. He has a 91.7 run D grade on the season.
Wow.
And the last couple of games, what they've done, so it's been Levante Bentley, and he's been really good. And it's been Trevor Woods at linebacker, okay, who the second half of last year moved from safety to linebacker. And this year, he's just light. He's a safety body playing linebacker. He was struggling. They've gone more.
The tickets are averaging 300 to 500. Wow. So things are starting to go up again. Winning does a lot. Graciano, thank you, man. I appreciate you for that information.
Or in the last couple of games to Hill Green, the transfer from Charlotte. He is spectacular. You want a gap filler? This is it. I think they have found the right.
So Chad said PFF is just a player performance system, and I don't put a lot of weight into it. Player performance system. Can anybody speak on that? Can any of y'all speak on this, Tim or Ron? Like, what do you mean? Just isn't that what we're doing? Aren't we judging their performance?
Yeah, it's a player performance grade based off of how they've been doing each and every game. So I mean, it kind of give you some insight of what they're capable of doing, but it doesn't mean that that's gonna happen each and every game, depending on your opponent and their strengths and weaknesses.
Right. But you look at the numbers, and the numbers should give you some type of indication of their ability.
I think
not what's going to transpire, but their ability, what they're capable of doing.
Right.
Yes.
It's a grade. I'm sorry, Tim. It's a grade that they give out. It's similar to what the NFL does and how they grade. So it's kind of a universal system that most scouts, the NFL, and pundits like these guys use. It's a formula that they use to grade your performance during your game according to your position. Right.
So these guys, I mean, they're probably watching. They probably have people that are watching on like 10 different screens, and their AI is probably like saying, okay, so he was able to make that block. He's able to make that read, and they're able to analyze that and translate that into a number.
That's true. That's how you get invited to the Senior Bowl. That's how NFL players get invited to the Pro Bowls.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, so then yeah, this is not a bad thing. I'm not going to put a whole lot of weight on it. Not necessarily to predict the next game. I'm just putting a number on it to use it for what they were able to do. So I can use it that way. I can use those numbers that way to say, all right, so if you're capable of doing X, Y, and Z, then what I'm going to be able to say is, okay, when I look at their numbers or I see them play in real game, I would say, can Colorado compete with this guy, or can Colorado compete with this team or not? That's what this is giving me. So for anybody out there that maybe don't understand how this works, that's how I'm using it, and hopefully that helps you out.
See, that's
combination for their.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's what I was trying to send you in that attachment. I don't know why it didn't come up. I actually highlighted.
No. I got 3 attachments.
Okay,
I got
yeah.
sacks, fumbles, recoveries, and fumble forced.
Right. So we could talk about that after you finish.
Yeah. We'll go over that. Yep.
Run defense in Bentley and Hill Green, along with a bunch of guys playing really good up front on their defensive line. They got to get a little more pass rush going, but I'll tell you what, I'm telling you right now, they went in the portal and they found a bunch of run defenders in the portal because they needed it bad. Their linebackers last year, identical, 122nd in the country in run D grade. Right now, it is Ole Miss Alabama, Colorado at linebacker. This is a massive story.
Holy
And you
crap.
think about, and I know the offense, it's Shadeur and Hunter and all that.
So I just wanted to say that's why I got that information from that I posted. So those of you who don't know, hopefully you're watching. That's where I get that information from. So if you're grading guys, if you're grading the linebackers based on their run defense and their ability to be able to stop the run, based on what Colorado was able to do in the last 4 games, right? With 3-1. So in the last 4 games and with Baylor, this is who we got in our locker room now. All right. So we're coming from 120 something to now we're number 3. Like, bruh, like, if you don't look at that and say, oh, that's an improvement, then I don't know. Is there another company out there that we can use? I don't know. But college football tend to use these numbers and say, hey, evaluate it based on this. At least that's something to look at, because you're evaluating the numbers. You're not evaluating the emotions, because that was the opening of the show. Now we're just dealing with strictly numbers.
They're always the story.
Yeah, I'll get into them.
But this was the thing in the portal. Last year, they were just getting guys.
Wait, DC, why are you trolling in this? He said those dudes look like they breathe hard from playing ping pong. Dude, I breathe hard for taking 3 steps. Are you kidding? Dude, DC must be a fit dude. He must be a disciplined man. I am not disciplined. I keep praying to God to give me more discipline, but I breathe hard if I go up my 3 steps. All right, from my basement, we got 3 steps that goes through my basement. I go up those steps, and for the next 30 minutes, I'll be breathing hard. I got to work out.
Because
Stop trolling, DC.
Colorado was horrible, and they needed talent.
Oh,
They
man.
went and specifically
Everybody in as disciplined as you.
targeted this front 7 with a bunch of transfers and a bunch of really good run defenders. And right now it's working. It's starting to work. And I've said, look, they have the best quarterback in the conference.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry for all the controversy, but he's the best quarterback in the conference. Take all the off field for what you want. We'll worry about that later. He's the best quarterback in the conference.
Yeah.
Is he the best quarterback in the country? Maybe.
And note, it wasn't me saying that. That's a white guy. Is that guy white? Tim and Ron, is that guy white?
Yeah, both of
Both of them are white, right?
Yeah.
So, and you know, I have Mike and I have a few white guys here. So, you know, this is a white guy. This is not the black guy saying it. This is a white guy saying it. He's the best in the conference, and he could be the best in the country. That one is up for debate. All right. So that's not me saying it. I'm just saying.
Cool.
Yo, I be poking the bear, or the like, come on, guys.
They really might. Honestly, is he not top 3? He's
up there.
How many other guys pull off what he pulled off last night? He was getting killed in the second half.
No, yeah, he's up
he
there.
got sacked 8 times.
Yeah,
and he managed to pull that off. But again, quarterback play, they have that, and run defense. Their run D next week, and we're going to preview the game at UCF.
Mm-hmm.
If they come out in run defense against UCF like they've played the last 2 games, we've got a story in Boulder again now. And
I wanted to get to that point. Because listen, guys, I told you all I'm new and I'm learning and I'm trying to figure out how football lingo goes and what are the topics I'm supposed to talk about. So these type of videos, they help me to put my jabberish in perspective. All right. When I'm just talking off the cuff, because it's like one of those things, you know what you want to say, but you may not know how to put it in football terms. All right. So I'm kind of like, people accuse me of, oh, you just talking. So this is what I'm saying. Colorado's potential. Colorado has the talent and we have the potential. If Colorado plays, so what they just said based on those numbers, run defense numbers being number 80, being 86 point something, being ranked number 3 in college football for run stop defense. That's what they've been saying. Now let me put it in layman's terms, in Harry B's yabber yabber term, right? If Colorado plays up to their potential with UCF, they have a chance to win this game. They said there's a story in Boulder. There's a story that's brewing in college football. Colorado is 3-1. All right. Excuse me. We're not going to make too much out of that. We're not, because of last year's stink. We're gonna hold that to our chest a little bit. All right. But if Colorado comes off and plays to their potential in the run defense, what's going to happen is then UCF is not going to be able to do everything that they are capable of doing on their offense. And they are run first. We pass first. UCF is a run first team. We're pass first. It's not that they don't pass. I'm just saying they're run first. They're run minded, right? So if we can stop them from doing their greatness, we have a chance. Is that how y'all are seeing it, Tim?
Yes, that's exactly how I see it, and I agree with the guy on that that's speaking. I mean, there if they come out and play to their potential,
Mm-hmm.
then there will be a story to talk about, a good story to talk about in Boulder come Monday. There are some key factors within that. Run may be able to take it from what I'm about to say, but this game right here, with Colorado being able to stop the run as well as they have been doing this season,
Mm-hmm.
the linebackers are going to be challenged, I feel, at one of the highest levels as far as discipline, not overshooting their gaps, because there's a shifty back that UCF have
Mm-hmm.
that can change direction so quick and he can be gone. And how well they protect the edges, keeping him contained within a bubble as much as possible. If they do that, I feel like Colorado can win this game by 10.
Mm-hmm. And Peter Investor says, how do you measure run defense? And I think if I understand what they were saying is run defense, meaning how you fill the gaps, your linebackers filling the gap, making sure that they don't get, they're not getting positive yards every single time and getting first downs on every downs, being able to contain them, get them off the field in I guess 3 and outs. So Colorado's been able to do that. Y'all can fill in. Y'all let me know. Is that how, Ron? Is that how you measure run defense?
Well, that's a couple of things that they use. They use on how you complete your assignment.
Okay.
Individually, and then they look at the entire team. Whether they're looking at the defensive line, the linebackers, the defensive backs, and then how are you doing against the run? Now Baylor was supposed to have the number one pass defense in the country last week, and we threw over 300 yards on them. UCF is supposed to have the number 2 rushing attack in FBS.
Wait, the entire country?
In all of FBS. Yes.
So that means football bowl subdivision.
Yes.
It starts from Georgia all the way down to us.
Yes. Not all the way down to us, Harry B. Come on.
No. We got to do this because we're the worst. Remember, I'm just trying to put it in perspective.
Oh yes. Well,
from Georgia all the way down to us.
Last year, yes.
Okay. I just got to put it that way.
And also, they ranked number 1 in the Big 12 in rushing. I think they got 3. Don't hold me to it. I think I've seen 3 rushers that they have in the top 25 in the Big 12.
Okay. So if Colorado is able to play to their potential, to their run grade potential, being top 3 in the nation, then Colorado is going to be, there's going to be a story that's going to start brewing, which might sound something like this. Down there in Boulder, if you go play Colorado, you're going to have to bring your best because that run defense is something that has become their identity. Is it going to sound something like that? Like the story that might start brewing, teams might have to start reconsidering how they play Colorado based on them being able to stop the run. Because if you can't run, then I don't know what else you got on Colorado. Because I don't know that their teams are throwing on Colorado like that. Yeah, we don't have the best pass coverage, pass defense, but I haven't seen teams throwing the ball that much either. Have y'all?
I mean, I feel like we got a good pass coverage defense. We just had a a shaky game against Baylor, and
Mhm.
but I feel like they're keeping everything in front of them. They're not getting totally just beat deep each and
Right.
every game.
Okay.
So
They need some help still, but they're holding it down somewhat.
correct.
Okay. All right, let's keep going. I'm not the Texas True said you should play the full video first before we hear the fantasies. No. We got to break it down because then it's like me just taking their content. It's like me, it's a reaction video. It's not I'm not just gonna replay their content. It's online. You can watch this.
And I know everybody. So there's, well, not everybody. There is a set of people that are incredibly sick of the Colorado hype.
Yeah.
I will tell you right now, they are better in the trenches.
Yep.
The pass pro, it comes and goes still. That's for sure.
does,
but
yeah.
I'll tell you what, when you have Shadeur and Hunter and Wester and Horn and everybody, they find a way. Still need to run the ball better for sure. But for me, this run defense is a massive story because I have said this for a while. Whoever finds run defense in the Big 12 against all these backs and all these rushing attacks, those are going to be the teams that rise. And for the last couple of games, it's Colorado, it's BYU, it's Utah. It's who is going to stop the run.
Yeah.
And if Colorado is one of those teams, hate to tell some of you out there, but they're going to be in the race. That's
Yep.
just where it's at. And there is on-field proof that it's happening right now.
And
Okay, so again, it's the white boys. Okay, it's the white guys saying it. It's not me saying this. It's the white guys saying it. We trust white people in America. Okay.
Pause.
I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? If you're black, you stay back. If you're white, you're right. Okay. This is what we do here. So I'm just trying to let y'all know. And these guys are not Colorado fans. This is not a Colorado channel like mine. Okay. So again, I want to say shout out to Ron Tay, who's on the panel right now. Thank you for sending me this. Like I told y'all, like these type of things, they really help me to make these videos or to, have these commentaries. So when y'all hear me talk, I'm saying this stuff, but I'm not putting it in these I'm not putting it in these terminologies, okay? But I am literally saying these things. I talked to you about Colorado's potential, the talent that Colorado has. If Colorado is able to do such and such, right? If Colorado's line is able to give Shadeur at least 2.5 seconds, because it's gone down, all right? We need 2.5 seconds. We've lost a 0.5 second. If we can get a 2.5 seconds, then the Nebraska thing is not going to repeat itself, because I saw somebody in the comments earlier saying that this is going to look like a Nebraska again. The reason why I don't think it's going to, I think if we get Nebraska now, y'all can let me know if y'all think I'm wrong or not. I feel like at this point, if we get Nebraska again, I feel like Colorado would be a different team and would compete in that Nebraska game if we were to get them like down the line. All right. So because now we know what they're capable of and blah, 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 we would know what to do. Colorado will be able to stop. So now this is our Nebraska game 2.0. All right. UCF is going to be Nebraska. Do y'all agree or not? Let's make sure I'm putting this into perspective. Y'all agree that this is going to look like Nebraska, right? Right, guys?
I think UCF has a stronger run game than Nebraska.
Okay. And
go ahead, Tim.
No, I agree. UCF has a strong run game.
Okay.
They're not to be played with. I mean, the kid that we seen at the press conference,
mm-hmm.
he could change the game within a blink of an eye.
Okay.
And he been doing that since last season.
Do they have a Dylan Raiola?
No, not
okay.
and not in my opinion.
Okay, so they're a functional. They have a functional quarterback.
They depend heavily on the run. Yes, they do have a functional quarterback that came from University of Arkansas.
Okay, so having a functional quarterback, like DC always telling me, like they don't need to be a superstar. They just need to be functional. But you have the talent around them, like the running back that you're talking about, and they have some receivers that can light it up. Right? That's what we're saying?
Yeah, I feel like they got like one or two receivers. I know they have one, number 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they have another one that, these kids are fast.
Okay.
Florida boys. So
okay.
Speed kills, but those two, if it could be like the Baylor game with number 4 running down the sideline.
Okay. So, all right. So this is going to be another test for Colorado. So now things that we're going to be looking for in this game is going to be, is Colorado going to really cover their number, right? Like we talk about cover on under or over. Is Colorado going to cover their 86, right? With 86.1, are we going to cover that, or are we going to get exposed? So we'll be looking for that. We'll be looking to see if Colorado holds up. If Colorado holds up and the game it looks awkward or it looks unbalanced, then now we got to look at in other areas and see who's not performing. Now, again, the one area of Colorado football that we are so unsure about is that offensive line. All right. We know that Bentley can show up and Nakai Hill-Green and Trevor Woods, they can show up and they can do their job consistently because we've seen it over time. Second half, we barely let them score. I think they scored 7 points in the second half last time, but after that was nothing. So if the game looks awkward, but the defense is holding up, then we got to go back to the offensive line and say, come on, guys, let's tighten this up. Let's see, you guys need to just do let the coaches put you in a better position. Maybe we need to do more sweeps. Maybe we need to move more guys and trick them a little bit. Let them look at what we're doing differently. It ain't got to change totally, but give them a different look so it can confuse them a little bit. Like, why do you have this guy in motion? That's not the play that we saw on the tape. Okay, now let's throw that in there and see if it works.
Hey, Harry, let me say this to that, what you just stated.
Yeah.
Since you are a data show, if CU offensive line gives up a sack Saturday, I'm going to be highly disappointed because
their defensive line is not that great.
Their defensive line only have 1 sack on the season. They are one of the worst defensive line out there right now. They don't get no pressure either. Go ahead, Ron.
And Tim, last game, Harry, if you can go back and take a look at I think the majority of those sacks, Shadeur has more than 3 seconds. He's holding the ball too long, and he's looking to make a play. So it wasn't like last year they were running through the offensive line. He had at minimum 2.5 to 3 seconds to get rid of the ball, and he's holding it too long. I know 4 sacks he did that.
Yes, I counted 4 too. I maybe a little bit. I counted 3, but not 4. You counted 4?
I counted 4.
Okay. All right.
So
he was sacked 8 times, right?
8 times. He was sacked 8 times. And he said that was one of the worst games that he had played. And he was holding the ball too long. And he, his eyes, his brother had gotten on him about what he was doing back there. And he said, man, look, I don't care who you are. Sometimes your eyes are going to drop when you've been hit as much as I have. And
so that's affected him.
I succumbed to that. He said, but, not again.
His strength and conditioning coach told him the same thing on the in the well-off video. Hey, man, you holding the ball entirely too long.
Right.
Okay.
I think that's where I saw it, Tim.
Correct.
In the well-off.
Okay. So that's some insight to understanding like what may be going on when because we've been saying something's going on with Shadeur, right? Like we say, like Shadeur is not the same Shadeur from last year. Like the accuracy is dropping, something's happening. So we can liken it to the fact that he's getting a little spooked from getting hit so often. Because
in that game, now Shadeur now he's one that when he finds something that he's lacking, he usually works on it. So I'm hoping this game we'll be able to see him either get rid of the ball sooner or set his feet before he throws. Also, I'll mention it later, but the UCF quarterback is like 6'3" or 6'4". He's like 250, 245 or 250. He's a big boy.
Oh, okay. So he'll be able to see over the line and have a little bit more of a vantage point than Shadeur.
Well, he likes to run. He likes to run.
Mm-hmm.
He's not trying to break it long. He runs for he's an efficient runner. He's been there for quite some time. I think this is like his 6th year. He's got a lot of experience.
Okay.
He can thread the needle. Like, don't get it twisted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He has a strong arm, man. He reminds me of I want to say Jamarcus Russell back in the day. It's
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Ron?
That's a good example right there. Yeah. That's about
all right.
right.
So quarterback play on there is a little bit above functional. The dude can play. It's not like
he can play.
He's just okay. He can play. Yeah. So I would say is a little bit more than functional, because functional is just like, okay, just hand the ball off correctly, just throw the ball correctly. But if he can thread it and he can run, he can find ways to contribute without. If his guys are not open, then that's a good quarterback. So, all right. So let's look at some of these numbers that I'm gonna. Okay, so that's enough from these guys. I don't want to like wax too much, because I know a lot of people thinking like I don't want people thinking like I'm trying to wax with that video, and y'all know I hate to paint a great picture when it's game for game. Like, I'm not trying to paint this, give y'all like, oh my gosh, these guys are like this, and then when it comes time, you come back and say, hey, that didn't age well, because I know people people are out there. They'll be ready, boy. Y'all know how many times, like, y'all know how many texts that were ready to go out, how many tweets were ready to go out in the 4th quarter. People couldn't wait. And Colorado said, not today. Not today. Let's talk about these numbers right here. Give me a second. Oh man, I did the wrong thing here. Give me a second, guys. All right, you know what? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Can y'all see the screen? I'm gonna have to resend it as a PNG, but y'all can see the screen.
I can see it. Yeah.
All right. So, hey Tim, you can start off. You sent this thing. Let's look at this. How you were interpreting this?
Okay. Like, if you look at it, Colorado has, I can't really see that. It showed their rankings on forced fumbles that they didn't force this season. And if you look at UCF, they dead last in that category.
Okay.
In the Big 12.
So
that
how do we use this information?
Look at it as they're not causing any habit as far as forced fumbles, so our guys should be good as far as protecting the ball. You know what I mean?
But this is based on teams that they have already played, right? So the way that we gotta be careful when we look at this information, and we gotta say, okay, look, is Colorado going to be able to hold his own? Because some of these other teams, maybe they can hold their own, right? The question is Colorado going to be able to hold his own? So let's look at sacks. Was that fumbles? Let's look at the sacks information. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, I was just going to say that you've got a blind date, Harry. Everyone's told you that she looks good, and you're nervous because you don't know whether it's a prank or whether she really looks good. So here they are. Our guys are playing inconsistently, sometime within a game, sometime between the quarters. And we're just waiting for them to show up to play an entire game to be more consistent. So, but I would like to say, that we should embrace the information that we're getting, and because it matches what we see as far as scoring. against the CU defense. The defense is holding people out, holding people down,
Yes, it
getting
is.
off the field on third down.
Yep.
They're stopping individuals and getting off the field and forcing them to punt or kick a field goal, one of the two.
And also run to double down on what you're saying. Uh, I think we got to stay out of those 3rd-and-1s with UCF as well if we can. Uh, we want to limit those because
Yeah.
250 pounds coming downhill
Yes, indeed.
is nothing to get 1 yard.
Right.
So I feel like, but also block bully's supposed to come back.
Wait, the bully's back this week?
Yeah, he's supposed to be back, and the running back's supposed to come back this week also.
Dallin Hayden.
Yes.
What kind of injury they had? It was only 2 weeks.
He had a high ankle sprain. I don't know what the block bully. I don't know if it was concussion protocol or he tweaked the knee or something.
Oh, so basically they're not healed. They're just tweaking it. They're just taping them up and saying, "Let's go. I can play now."
I don't think Coach Prime plays that. I don't think you
think
got to
so?
be ready to go.
Yeah, but these guys are tough. If you can go, if the doctors clear you, you don't have to be 100% healed. They'll just say, "Okay, you can go, but it's up to you." You think Coach Prime is like, "I need you 100% before you come back"? Because Shadeur was not 100%. He was still playing them. Shadeur was about to die.
Hey, I remember Travis Hunter at Jackson State was crying because Coach Prime wouldn't let. Well, he wasn't crying, but he wanted to play a couple of games. He had injured himself or tweaked something. He really wasn't hurt, but Coach Prime wouldn't let him play until he was 100%. So
yeah, I mean, but yeah, certain people you gotta. Yeah, I get that one. I definitely understand that one.
You got to show it in practice. And today, Coach Prime said that the running back he looked good in practice today, so he's gonna be playing this weekend.
Okay, so let's look at what we got on the screen. Sacks by UCF. UCF got what? What does the G mean? What is that? Oh, Tim is gone. So we got UCF got 3, 1, and 9 yards from sacks. Okay, so this is what after the sack, after they get a sack, they get yards from that. I guess that's what it is.
I don't understand this.
Okay, so I think what this is how many sacks they got, and then how many yards they were able to pick up after they got the ball. So,
no,
right.
Is this number? No, it's not number allowed, but it's. I don't know. I'm thinking that the 4 and the 3 in that first column must mean games.
All right, let's get Tim back. I think Tim, are you back? Hello. You gotta unmute Tim. All right, Tim. Whenever you're ready, just unmute and then you can come back.
Say that again now.
Yeah. Could you? These are the sacks. These numbers that you brought up. What are these? What? How do you read this?
Okay, like the sacks. When we was talking about UCF, they only had 1 sack on the season. That's why I stated earlier that the offensive line should do their thing this week. Shadeur should be able to have enough time in the pocket, 2-step, 3-stop. Step drop back, and boom, the ball is gone. He should have time to do that.
Okay.
Because they haven't proven this season that they're able to create sacks or even get pressure. But on the other hand, Colorado, they have 5 sacks, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm looking at that.
5 sacks so far, yeah.
Yeah, they have 5 sacks on the season so far. So it just shows where we at versus UCF as far as like getting pressure to the quarterback. And it also gives us a insight on moving forward what to expect in the Big 12, like Utah, Kansas State, etc.
Oh, okay.
And it could easily turn into a shootout if we're not able to stop the run or contain it. Then we'll go touch that. It'll kind of be like, in my opinion, it'd be like the TCU game. But if we able to stop the run, then that's why I say we could easily. I feel like we can win by 7 or 10 points.
All right. So the way it reads is games. All right. They played 3 games. Out of 3 games, they got 1 sack, and then number of yards lost from the sack.
Right.
All right. So okay. The Texas Truth. I appreciate that information. You Texas boys, you Dallas and Texas guys, y'all know your stuff. So appreciate y'all. Colorado, out of 4 games played, got 5 sacks. Number of yards is 25. All right. So now, to tell you the truth, I can't, based on somebody else's offense. What is it? Yeah, offensive line would determine how many sacks that a defense is going to be able to record. So I can also read this to say that UCF, they've been playing some better offensive lines than Colorado's offensive line. So that's why they weren't able to get as many sacks. Now, if they're coming in here and they're looking at Colorado's offensive line, and those guys, whether they send 1 or 2 people, and they're able to get the Shadeur, that's going to be an indicator that Colorado's offensive line is not as good as the other offensive lines that they play. So we got to look at that as well. I'm looking at that just to make sure that, even though they only got 1 sack, that's not an indicator that it's gonna fare out the same way for us. Because boy, we be giving up sacks. I mean, if you just want it, you can get it with Colorado.
I mean, that's true too. But go back and look at that when you have time. Go back and look at the TCU game that they just played before they had their bye. And it give you some indications of what to look at, as well as technique. Also.
Okay. Yeah, I need those games. I need the I want to see a full game, because if you check YouTube only got the highlights. I don't know where to go to get full games without having to pay $80-some a month just to be able to watch a game. Like, that's crazy. So yeah, I mean, I'll find some way, but yeah, I'll see. Again, our offensive line is suspect, at most. They're inconsistent. Our defense has been the most consistent group of guys, group in side of the ball during the whole season. So for us to even predict or say anything, whether how many sacks that UCF is going to have, that I can't say, because I look at their linebackers. Who does UCF have good linebackers? I don't know that, because I don't know that the offensive line really needs to have that push for these high flying linebackers or these edges to come in there and interrupt the whole, to make Colorado scared. Again, I don't know that. So for those of you who are betting people, is Colorado going to be able to stop UCF run game this Saturday? I don't know. All right. So that's yet to be seen. Is Colorado going to be able to protect Shadeur? Again, the offensive line is suspect. We don't know if they're going to show up yet. But the thing that I hold on to, and this is not for the betting people, because you cannot take my words if you're a betting person, but you as a fan, you can, right? The thing that I hold on to is the fact that they're growing, they're learning, and they're actually making decisions. They're making better decisions. The offensive line, I guess the quality of play calling is changed, is increased a little bit. And Brown, you can attest to this, right? They got a little creative, right?
Yes, and Coach Prime continues to talk about the run game in his press conferences, and also the offensive line. Harry, I hope you get a chance to find a way of watching the game. Sometimes if you search it on YouTube, it'll pop up the entire game.
Okay.
because I've seen a couple games on there. The offensive line is getting a lot better. I would say instead of not being able to do the job, I would just say that they're inconsistent at times, because 50% of the sacks in the last game were not on them.
Right. You're right.
You know, they were on Shadeur and Schumer, whatever the OC is.
Yeah, Pat Shermer.
Pat Shermer. He needs to, at every single pass play, he needs to have an outlet for Shadeur. He needs to have an outlet. Hey, listen, instead of taking a sack, let's cut it out, check it down.
But is that Pat or is that Shadeur, though? Because you know him.
Shadeur,
you know Shadeur. That's the part that frustrates you about Shadeur.
Yeah, he's holding it too long.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, going forward, Pat needs to have an outlet for him on every single pass play that he could check down to and get 3, 4, or 5 yards, or if not more. But they need to address that and pass. And I wanted to say this about the QB for UCF, who's considered an elite rushing quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
When Cam Newton was in the Super Bowl, and I forget, maybe it was the Broncos who they were playing, they had a rushing attack where the ends would go up tight. They wouldn't rush wide. They would go up tight and get at the same level of Cam Newton and wouldn't let him escape out the side. And the defensive tackles came up hard through the middle. And that's how they contained him. And I think we'll have to do something similar in this game to avoid big runs from UCF's quarterback.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Ron. With that being said, if the block bully's back and he's taking 2 people to block him, do you send one of those linebackers on a blitz?
Hey, down in distance, because, you know, both of them one or both may not be in the game, depending on the down and distance. But yeah, heck yeah. If your ends, the key is going to be the defensive ends, getting upfield, not too far, but get even with the quarterback and just hold it right there, not allowing him to escape, and let your work being done by your tackles, or like you said, a linebacker, be done inside. So, you know, if they do that, they have a chance to contain the guy.
ICH Incorporated is saying Colorado has been saving all kinds of schemes just for this game. I don't believe that, but okay. They are going to open up a bag of plays that we have not seen. How many of y'all believe that?
Well, each game, Harry, they're doing something a little different. You know,
have they been saving it, or it's just that people are crying out, please change something?
No, it's not that. It's just it's like an NFL team. You scheme according. There are a lot of plays that they're going to do in this game they've been working on since summer, but they're not using them until they meet this type of defense or this situation.
Oh, okay.
So an NFL quarterback may have 1,000 plays in it. An NFL offensive coordinator may have 1,000 plays in his playbook.
Is it 1,000 plays, or is it variations of a similar play of one play?
Yeah, it could be a variation of a play run. The same
different looks of a scheme, right?
I'm sorry.
No, I was saying different looks because what teams try to do is, if they're going to run an I formation, if they're going to run a specific scheme, right, they're going to give you, they might do it in different ways to give you to make it look different.
Let me help you, Harry.
Yeah.
They can do it in different formations.
Got it. Yeah.
They can do it in different formations. Same play, different formations, makes it look like a different play.
Right, exactly. So is that what you're saying, or do you think that there's 1,000 plays where you can have different formations of those 1,000 plays?
No, I don't think there are 1,000 plays. I just think that as the season goes on, you're going to see different wrinkles and different aspects of Pat Schumer's playbook as the season goes on, because you may run one play at the beginning of the year in the NFL and not run that play again the entire season.
Okay.
So if he's under that mindset, I hope that what he's doing is scheming, starting to scheme like an NFL offensive coordinator, incorporating the run game, because he sees the effect that it has on the offensive lineman and on the team. So
but we've been calling vanilla all season. So what needs to change, the plays or the schemes? Because they can run a similar play with a different look. I just feel like we've been seeing the same.
That's what you may see. That's what you may see against UCF, and you'll be sitting back saying, "Dang, why didn't we run this in the beginning of the season?"
Okay.
Well, they may not have implemented it in the play calling. So you may see different plays being implemented in this game out of the same formation, but it'll be a whole totally different play.
Okay, so what do y'all prefer? Do y'all prefer the same play, maybe like using a couple of different plays with different formations, or using totally new plays?
New plays, Harry.
Okay.
New plays.
Because the DCs can figure out your formation. They know you're doing the same thing, just a different formation. They can figure that out.
They'll start figuring out your nuances. And once they do that, you're cooked, no matter what formation you look at. Like when the guys are studying film, that's what they're looking for. Looking for a left foot back, a right foot back, pressure on your hand, or light pressure on your hand. You know, any little thing to give them a hint as to what alignment you're lining up way away close to the sideline, or you're lining up inside, gives the defense an idea of what type of route you're trying to run.
Okay. Now, Phil said you built on the looks you've already shown. You don't start from scratch. So
that's not what I'm saying.
You need to have a mixture, a healthy dose, a mixture of what we've already tried, the plays we've already tried with different formations or different looks of those plays.
No, that sounds good, Phil, but no, you're 100% wrong. You scheme each game according to the defensive front or the strength of the defense that you're facing. And what you want to do, you want to put your offense and your linemen at an advantage by way of the scheme that you may run a play the same way on the right side and the left side, but really you want to attack that right side. You just don't want them to see that you're attacking one of their players.
Okay, because once they figure that out, you got but so many times to try that again.
That's right.
Right. So, all right. So Colorado has. I want to see some new things. I want to see. I mostly. I don't know about you, but I want to see different formations, because I feel like in game, if I'm not mistaken, I'm seeing the same formations. maybe I'm mistaken, but I feel like even though I don't know the plays, I feel like I've seen that several times. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all just did that. They stopped it. Like, how are we doing it again? So for me, for CU, maybe on a basic level, I just want to see a different formation of that play. And maybe that'll help us, because if we're not going to change up the schemes, then if we're going to keep doing the same plays, at least switch it up. Put somebody in motion. You know what I'm saying? Put somebody in motion. Do a sweep. Do something different. Like, I just need to see a different formation. put it in a different formation, do the same play, and maybe we might get some new results. But man, those offensive linemen need help. And for the life of me, I try to find videos like Joe Klatt and everybody, even McChesney, the guys that have played linemen and they know how lineman play works. I try listening to them to see if I can find anything to help me out to understand, are we being too hard on the are we being too naive or hard on the offensive line and the coaching? Have they exhausted all of their options? Because maybe I'm not too sure. I'm not exactly sure what else they can do to help them to mask their limitations. You feel me? Like
Harry,
to max their weaknesses.
Harry, let me say this, Harry.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the offensive line has not been that bad this year. When you get a chance to look at the games,
yeah,
watch what they are doing, and especially on pass plays, give yourself a count. 1, 2, 3.
Like 1001, 1002, 1003.
Yeah, give it a count, and you'll see that if there's a check down there, which Shadeur has missed several times, especially with Welch in the game, where, after the play is over, he just throws his hands up, and you can see it right on the video, like, I'm wide open, why don't you throw it to me? So if Shadeur would use his check downs, then that would cut down on the sacks.
Okay. So everything is not on that offensive line. It's and they may not need to have different plays. They just need to work, make sure that everybody's doing their job all around. And then like Phil is saying, at this point, because we're 4 games in, this is going to be game number 5. It is what it is. I mean, because how many more plays can you have?
I mean, you got to perfect the ones that you already have drawn up. You know what I mean?
And you want to attack the defense, the weaknesses of the defense
correctly. Like say for instance, Ron was talking about those wheel routes or your check downs. It's things that Shadeur is doing. He's holding the ball too long. Like I seen him up to 6 seconds.
Explain what a check down is for those of us or those of people who don't know what a check down is. What is a check down?
Check down is when you go and correct me if I'm wrong, Ron. You go through your progressions, and if nothing is developing downfield, you just throw it out there and hit your running back. He's your safety net, so to speak. If nothing open down and the play ain't developing, the linebacker, your DBs got your wideouts locked down. Check down to your running back and let them pick up 3 or 4 yards. Just don't sit back there and hold the ball, not throw it away, and take a sack.
Right.
Can a check down also be throwing it away?
Yeah, well, that's throwing it away is throwing it away. And that's what Shadeur right now has a hard time doing. He doesn't want to throw it away. He continues to try to make a play, which most of the time he does, because his receivers are just that good that they can make a play. I remember one pass play, he threw to Will Shepherd. Shepherd was covered, and the ball sailed over his head, went through Shepherd's hand because he's a jumper. And Shadeur got on him about that. Catch the ball. And he's covered. And he's demanding that they catch the ball because they can.
Because Travis Hunter is spoiling them.
Well, and Shepherd has a reputation of winning 50-50 balls also.
And Shepherd catches the ball with his bodies. I don't know that he's a Odell Beckham.
Well, that was rare because his reputation is he's got great hands.
He got great hands, big hands. Go back and look at his Vanderbilt days.
Okay, so he catches the ball mostly with his hands?
Yeah.
He does.
So what's going on? What's going on with CU then?
I feel like, I would use Will Shepherd on deep posts, honestly. Go routes. at Vanderbilt, they used him on post route, deep posts, and he was killing in the SEC with them deep posts.
I would do the same.
Guys are regressing from a higher conference to a lower conference.
No, not exactly.
No, we just showing you how he was utilized, and he's a playmaker, man. I mean, he really is a playmaker.
Maybe we as a fan base, we need to get more acclimated with these guys, because I hate to just say, hey, these guys are no good, they suck, they keep dropping the ball. I hate to say that, but maybe they just need to get comfortable. Something's happening where they're not comfortable, or they're not used to Shadeur's arm strength, or I don't know what it is, but
it's sometimes it could be the moment, Harry, that they're pressing so hard, trying to do what they've done, like, LeJohntay, I think I'm saying that right. Western.
Yeah.
He was the number one receiver as far as receptions in the country last year. So he knows that he can catch and he can get those yards after he catches the ball. And Shepard was a guy, he was known for making big plays, especially in the red zone.
Boy, he was about to get lit up.
I'm really, really nervously feeling that they're coming around to be a really good team, and it's.
Why are you nervous about
that? I'm nervous because you're telling Coach Prime to run the ball and he runs it, and I just want him to continue to listen to you, Harry.
Yeah, he got to, man. You know that. I mean, he got us on like notification. Anytime the show comes up, he got his notification comes up and he watches.
You may be joking, but ever since last year, when you first started that crap, it seems to be happening almost every time when we talk about something on this channel.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the coincidence really had me really thinking like Coach Prime is really watching. Like, like, come on, Prime. I know you listening, because when we pressure you, things like, did you notice they ran twice in a row? That is not the makeup of a Colorado team. To run the ball 2 times in a row, I was like, huh? I was starting to get scared, because I'm like, dang, if y'all do too much of running, y'all might not be able to get anything done with y'all. What's really good with y'all?
No, don't let them pull back on that. We want them to continue to run the ball.
Yeah, no, we need that. We need a heavy dose, and do as much as you need to affect your pass game. I think that's going to be my prescription from week to week now. Like, you guys have the license to do as much run as you need to help your pass game. But the thing that I'm also want to encourage them to do is to continue to run if it's working. But for some reason, if the two things are working at the same time, then the pass is what is going to get it. You feel me? Like, I feel like if the pass and the run is working, they do more passing. So I'm like, maybe.
Well, you don't have to tell them that.
I know, but
they're going to do that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what they tend to do, because at some point the run and the pass was working, and then they went away from the pass. And they went away from the run. Sorry, they went away from the run. So I'm looking to say, hey, if the pass and the run is working, still commit to the run, because it's actually helping to build the muscle memory of those runners. Because now you got Micah Welch, who is getting more confident. You got Augusta, who is getting more confident. The more you use those guys, the more confident they get. And then in game situations, they will know, like, okay, the mistakes that they made on certain runs. But if they don't have a time to practice, then they don't. So don't go away from the pass when it's working. Don't go away from the run when it's working, just because the pass is also working. DC wants to join the conversation. DC, what's up, man? How you doing? Thank you for calling in.
I'm doing pretty good, man. I had to take a break and support my brothers and say, man, y'all are cooking. I've been listening to the conversation. It's really good. Y'all keep doing your thing.
Appreciate it. Hey, so thoughts on I'm about to I gotta take my son to football practice, so we're gonna be ending shortly. But thoughts on what Colorado needs to do, like as a team, not just a specific area of the game. What does Colorado need to do to win this game? I'm gonna start with you, DC. You just came on.
Well, let me just, I want to say what I'm going to do, but I do have a question. Let me start with that question and first. I'm curious what Tim and Ron and you have to say.
Yeah.
That line, remember I said that thing to you, was the line opened at 13.5. Now it's at 15.5 in favor of UCF. I'm curious what y'all think. Is that too high or too low? I don't know if y'all talked about it. But in the meantime, I think that Colorado just has to cut down on penalties and they have to continue to consistently move the ball. I do think that they are developing more of an identity, but it can't just be give it to two and let him do what he do. It's also got to be because if that's the case, is your team becomes a one-trick pony and is down because you still need somebody to throw the ball to Travis. So I think that in this game they got to load up the box, make sure that dare UCF to throw it. And then I think that also on offense, it's that they need to take what the defense gives them and hold the line. And then on special teams, good God, lane containment.
Just
Stay
tackle
in your
somebody.
lane.
Please just
Yes,
tackle the
stay
guy. Tackle the guy with the ball.
right. And the punter has to be mindful of how he's doing it. Even if you got an angle, if you know that you have a weakness with lane discipline, then just punt the ball towards the doggone sideline and be done with it. You might not get as much yardage, but not getting much yardage is a whole lot better than giving up a touchdown or great field position.
Right. So how many did they score 2 touchdowns in that game? Baylor running it back.
They got one, but then they also had one where they got phenomenal field position. And the thing about it, right? Because think about it, if you have a good defense, let's say they get to their the CU 40 and they drive it, but they don't make field goal. Well, now you can have a position where you pin CU in the side the 10, which did happen. Now they have to drive the length of the field. And that's just not how you want to start. You want to maintain. So like even we were talking about these calls about field position. I know that was a gamble Prime took, but it's still pin that team deep and especially since your defense is playing better. Especially now, it's not like last year. Pin them deep and make them drive the field. So that's why I think their keys to victory is. But I do think that run game from UCF, you better be in condition because you might stop them the first and second half, but that fourth quarter, man, you might be leaking
start leaning on you.
Oh yeah, they'll lean on you. Have you seen them games where you saw Georgia and Clemson? It was tight, but that third quarter, it was like, oh God, yeah, it was a beat down.
If I was to ask everybody to say, hey, what is one mistake that Prime has made that you would say, you know what, I can live with that mistake. That call it would be the one mistake for me, right? That mistake, like I told y'all in the game reactions, I would live with that mistake because I was with Prime on that one. I said, Prime, go for it because you're on the 35 or 30-something, 40-something yard line. Either way, if Shadeur doesn't take a sack on that, if he understands, like, I don't know what type of dad-son relationship they have because Prime says Shadeur only made one mistake in the live that they just had. I'm like, one mistake? I don't know about that, but hey, that's how you saw it. That's how you saw it. But as far as like, you know, do they have a conversation where has somebody explained to Shadeur that, hey, when we go for it on 4th down, if you throw it, it's a big chance of just they can either knock it down and then they'll start right here where we started, or if somebody messes around and catches an interception and we tackle them, then they'll be starting much farther back. So that's a punt anyway. But it's like a free play in a sense where you throw it up and we get a chance to either catch it or they catch it and then it's just a drop ball or whatever. So those are the chances. I don't know that because for 4, I think it's either 3 or 4 where we went for it on 4th down since last year. And so Shadeur has taken a sack. So I'm like, wait a minute. Is there any update on that? Is Prime talking to his son to say, we throw the ball regardless on 4th down. We don't take sacks on 4th downs. Like you must throw it. It's there is no option not to throw it, right? It's like in the fourth quarter. Like maybe somebody needs to talk to Shadeur and says, Shadeur, imagine this. It's the fourth quarter. It's 2 seconds to go, and we need a Hail Mary. If you take a sack, the game is over. We lose. But you throw it up, we give our guy a chance to catch it, and maybe we score, right? So, am I missing something to where 4 times a quarterback takes a sack and he doesn't know that on fourth down we don't take sacks? Am I missing something? Any of y'all can answer.
No, I'm sure. I would hate to give anyone this ammunition, but I think it's a little selfish of them to hold that ball like that. Because when you hold, it doesn't affect your stats in a negative way most of the time. If you throw it away, then that hurts your attempts and your pass percentage. That's why I say, give him a check down, an outlet, whether it's a running back or a tight end that could be chipping, and after 2 or 3 seconds, he can just leak out and say, hey, if he doesn't have anyone, boom, here's your guy, just drop it off to him.
But is the check the conversation about a check down, is that the same conversation about making sure you just throw it on fourth down? Is that the same conversation, or is that a different conversation?
No. When they went for it on fourth down, I was trying to read Coach Prime lips, and he was like, I knew it. And so it looked like he was convinced to go for it on fourth down, and because he was very, very disappointed when Shadeur took that sack when it was like, I guess it was 4th and 8 or 4th and 7 or something.
Right.
Well,
Yes.
there's got to be well, Ron, don't you think there's got to be the analytics that says if I am at my opponent's 35 or less, then I go for it. But if I am greater than 35, I'm going to punt the ball. That's got to be maybe an analytics, unless you see something about that team that says it increases your probability. What do you think?
Where were they at? Was that not at the 35?
It was something like that, yeah, because when he was sacked, he was sacked close to the.
He lost yardage.
Yeah, he lost yardage, and I think he was close to midfield. The yardage that he lost.
Right, because Shadeur's in the shotgun, so he's already 7 yards back, right? 10 yards, maybe. So when you take a sack on a 4th and 2 or 4th and whatever, 4th and 1, you're taking a sack behind where you would have had the ball if you just didn't make it.
I think that they were at their 45, if I'm not mistaken. Colorado was at their 45, and when he got sacked, I think it put him at midfield. But
it was closer to, if it was a 55-yard field goal, then it was not at the 45, was it? Because it's 12 yards back.
If it's a 55, then that means that they would have been
at the 30,
maybe at the 50, at their 50-yard line. If he only went back like 5 yards when he got sacked.
No. Field goal, you're 12. It's a 12-yard runoff. So it's not. You can't be. If you're at the 50, that's not a 55-yard field goal. That's a 60-some-yard field goal.
You saying when he got sacked? I mean, where the ball was placed on 4th down, 4th and 8.
Let's just say if they would have went for it, and they said they decided to kick a field goal, that would have been a 55-yard field goal. So that means that the ball had to be at closer to the 40-something yard or 30-something yard line. Because field goal is what, 12 yards runoff, right?
35 is going to be more for, if the ball's at the 35, you are looking around like a 55-yard field goal.
Yeah.
So then that's where the ball was at. The ball was closer to the 30-some yard field, to the 30-some yard line. That's where they went for it. That's why Coach Brown felt like, well, he didn't want to go for it.
Close. They wasn't that close, because.
So then how was that a 55-yard field goal then?
No, what I'm saying is I don't think they were that close on 4th and 8. I think they were closer, more. Well, I mean, they could have been. They could have been.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I think the commentator says it would have been a 55-yard field goal if they would have went for it.
But here's the thing, Harry, and I'm curious what the panel thinks. Maybe the thinking was, I'm going to go for 4th down and hopefully to complete it, and at worst get a pass interference.
Yeah, exactly, DC.
That
That's
may
what
have
I
been
was
the thinking.
thinking. But that whole play was developed wrong. They didn't even try to draw the D lineman off sides.
So
No,
you saying they should have
didn't
did a
do no,
hard
they didn't do
count,
no
something
like
that.
hard counts. There was
Yeah,
no
they didn't
hard
do no
counts
hard-
on.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, there were no hard counts. It was not like trying to get them off bounds or offsides or anything like that. Like we normally see in the NFL. Like sometimes you would just line up and see if you could do a hard count and get those yards, and then if it doesn't work, you call a timeout and you kick it anyway. That was not that.
Right, especially if you're going to do that, I would motion Travis, take him to the other side of the field. Now that causes them to kind of start thinking about some things, shifting over, and then that hard count, that was a possibility. But I still think under the 40, going for on 4th down, you're out of field goal range, but you giving it to them on their 40, you're still giving them a short field. So especially if they got a good kicker. You can do that, CSU. I wouldn't do that with Baylor, nor would I do that with any other team on the schedule.
Yeah, they learned that the hard way, though. They learned that the hard way. But that's a mistake that I'm willing to live with. And the only reason why I'm willing to live with that is because I need to know who our coach is. Is it a coach that takes risks? Is it a coach that's willing to allow some things to go, to be aggressive enough to win games? Then yeah, you live with some you just like, there's no way you ran the ball with 3 minutes to go, right? There's no way you let them get the ball back, you know what I'm saying, and you don't try your best to kill the clock, and you leave time on the clock, right? Some of those mistakes, I'm like, yeah, but that one, it was like, it was more like a heat check. Like, I know my defense is good, so they may get a stop.
I got pushback on that, Harry.
Yeah, okay. What's the pushback?
I got pushback.
I'm not 100% sold on that conversation. So just in case
only reason I say that is because we have a coach that this is his tendency. He go for a running play on 3rd and 1 and turn around and go for it on 4th and 1 with a running play that clearly hasn't been working, and turn the ball over on downs. Now you go for it on 4th and 8 to shift the momentum, give them good field position, give a kicker that, thank God he missed it, that can hit from 50 plus.
Hey, yo, but there's a narrative also in here, Tim, because remember what Ron said. Remember Ron said he was reading Coach Prom's body language, and Coach Prom was like, I knew it, so that means that he didn't really want to go for it. So if that's the case, remember last time we talked about Coach Prom taking hold of his game and making decisions based on what he knows, as opposed to trusting, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to trusting his son, right? So that's and then in my monologue in the beginning, I said, let's have some things that we don't trust with other people, even though we trust them just because they, these people, they work with us, so we trust them. We only gonna give them so much trust. But when it comes to certain things, you as a head coach, you cannot be on the sideline saying, I knew it, right? Because we literally have you on staff, the $5 million guy, to be for your conscience, for your tenacity, for how you decide, your decisions, your decision-making ability. So for you to be second guessing yourself and trusting other people, does that say something that we're not talking about?
Well, I tell you one thing, I believe it won't happen again. That's for sure.
When he knows, so that's another learning opportunity where he's like, you know what? Next time I'm going with my gut. I ain't trusting nobody else. If I feel this way, I'm just gonna go for it.
No, it's not. That's not a gut. That's not a gut feeling, Harry.
That's just a football decision.
If he's going to go for it, he's going to go for it. But what his senses was telling him was not to go for it because your defense is playing fairly well. And I think maybe Pat and Shadeur convinced him that they had something up their sleeve, but they didn't. Well, maybe they did,
but how can they convince you? Like what can they have up their sleeve that can convince you?
Well, that goes back to trust, the trust that you have in your offensive coordinator and the trust that you have in your quarterback.
Oh, okay. So that conversation. So y'all saying if Shadeur convinces Sharmer, and then Sharmer's like, all right, yeah, I'm with Shadeur. Let's do it. Then Prom is like, all right, let's go. So then that's what I'm saying though. But the question still stands. It's like, should Prom's identity be, all right, guys, I trust you, but not on this one. Like, no, we're kicking. Like when like DC said, if it's a football thing, right? And we know this our game plan. If the ball is here at a specific spot, we're not making that decision. I don't care what you think, what you say. I ain't trusting you. I don't care what you think.
Well, I can say this about that I've heard or I've seen Coach Prime turn Shadeur down, a few times this year in the early on.
Okay.
In situations similar to that. So I just think that was a one of in that situation against that team. I don't think he would do that again going forward. If he says, go ahead, DC.
No, Ron, please finish.
I was just going to say I don't think he would do that again because he went against his first instinct and relied and yielded to the quarterback and his OC.
See, and I look at it like a lot of coaches look at the analytics. They don't just look at, okay, when they look at certain type of plays, what's the percentage of this play being successful, where it's at. But then they keep stats, so they know their own analytics. Hey, we're pretty good at this part of the field. We get into, like, when you sit back and say, how good is this team? You'll see sometimes the stat of how well is this team in the red zone converting. And all those stats mean something, like what are they doing? Well, because Prime has such a feel of the game, sometimes he has, that kind of like flying, you don't look at your instruments, you're flying kind of like the seat of your pants because you can feel it. And sometimes that works because he understands football. But then there are times where like the analytics are generally right, but sometimes you have to come into a point where you realize, you know what? Nah, my gut feeling saying we shouldn't do X, Y, and Z, or you have to resist because, again, feelings aren't fact. So I can't hold them accountable on some things, but I do think, I would never want Prime to just be a straight look at the analytics on the sheet, and that's how he calls a game. That's not who Prime is.
Right,
but I think
there's a chance where Shadeur doesn't get sacked, he throws that ball and we get it. So it's like a 50-50 gut check. Like, if he's able to get the ball off, he might be able to make it happen. And those are the things that kind of define a coach, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, certain things you're gonna have to live with because you want your coach to be the type of coach where he can go with his instincts. And
but Harry,
if it works, it works.
But here's the thing I'll say, and then shut up. That works because he has had the same QB since day one.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be different when he gets a new QB where he's not going to really know everything about what this person can and cannot do.
That's right. That's right. And you can imagine with Livingston being with him, let's say for 2 or 3 years, and that same scenario pops up, Livingston saying, hey, no, coach, punt that ball away. Our defense is playing too well. We can pin them back. Let's play field position. This year, he yields to the offensive guys. So I just think that it was a very good teaching moment, and he felt it because he said, he shook his head. He said, I know it. And because he knew it was going against what his first instinct was.
Me as just like from a fan perspective and just looking at that play, because of his history, I would never trust Shadeur again because Shadeur has taken sacks on 4th and 1s. Like I would say out of five 4th and 1s that we've gone with that we had an opportunity, Shadeur has taken a sack. And at that point, I'm like, you're not my son and I'm just a fan and I won't trust you ever again. Like, because for some reason, for some odd reason, you don't understand the implications of a 4th and 1 and not taking a sack. Until you prove to me that you're not going to take a sack anymore, this matter is it's a done deal. Either I'm not going to go for it, or if I go for it, I'll say you got to throw it. Or I'm never going to go for it again.
You don't have to throw it. You can run it now. You can do the tush push.
Right. And then, or that. I will either run it or I'm not going to say Shadeur throw it because then you're kind of like, wait a minute, Shadeur has taken sacks more than I like for him to do. Because for some reason, like if it happens once or twice, you're fine. But 4 times, you're taking the sacks 4 times. At that point, you're like, I'm not God. I don't have that kind of trust. I'm sorry, my heart is too weak for that. I can't trust you no more.
Do y'all realize that the past 4 games, they're almost at 20 sacks?
Yes.
That is not good. It's not good. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I was going to say they're on a course to repeating, if not exceeding what happened last season with a whole nother revamped O-line. But I do have a question for you guys, for the panel and for you, Harry. And tell me what y'all think about this.
Bill, you better stop trolling.
I was looking at some things, and you know, Harry, I'm always trying to find ways and scenarios to protect my 10-2.
Yeah.
You know, and
your 10-2 is in trouble, my guy.
No, I don't think so. But not yet. I'm 1 down. But
okay.
I do have a question. How do y'all feel, or what do y'all think about possibly, because we don't have a tight end, right?
Well, we do have a tight end. Do they use them well? No.
No. Okay. With that
we got able bodies. Okay.
Right. Okay. With that being said, how do y'all feel about possibly bringing in Omarion Miller and putting him in that tight end position for pass plays?
No,
he's not big enough.
Right. The question is, can he block?
No, not for blocking purposes. Only for passing purposes.
No, he's definitely not big enough. And if you want to do that, they've got number 81 on the sideline. That's a true tight end, a big boy. And
that idea. Okay, I don't know that you need to have 6 wide receivers. like we don't have enough already. Yeah,
hey, I'm just looking at the creativity and
right.
how fast he can get behind the linebackers is what I'm looking at.
I'll be honest with you. I would be putting Travis in the Wildcat. He's got good hands. He's gonna catch the ball.
I can see that.
He's able to see the field. He's able to get speed to the outside. I definitely would look at some of those things because now it forces them to think something else. And yeah, more than likely Travis can, but I ain't saying that you let Travis throw it.
That's pretty good.
I would definitely say let's go with that.
And he can throw.
Yeah, so now you got that threat of he might not, but he can. That right there, I think, is a way where that can give you, like Ron, sometimes you take those trick plays to go in and it's like, I got to have this one. So you put that one in to be able to get that one. It's not something you do all the time, but it's like one of those need to have, because I would rather, if I'm going to run it, have Travis in there doing it because he's used to doing that than Shadeur, who seems like somebody has put sand in his shoes.
Right.
I mean, a bunch of sand, like 10 bags of sand. I don't know what's happening.
I mean, he's got speed. It just takes him like 10 to 15 yards to get up to speed.
He's a diesel truck. It takes him a little while to get up and run. It's like
a Ferrari here, the Elantra.
It's like a diesel truck, man. A diesel truck at the line, at the stoplight. It's gonna take him a while to get going. It's like, come on, my guy. Like Ryan Stubb is that I guess if you want to call him a Toyota or some type of Sonata or whatever, he can go. Like he can just, if you press on the gas, he'll go. Shadeur is like, it's like he's running in his dreams. Like, you know how you can't really run that fast in your dreams? Let me stop
Well,
bashing Shadeur.
what you want to do is pull your guard with you put Travis in there at that though. You want to pull him, so then you're getting that more extra push in there versus just straight. You keeping your line. You've got some other things going
Who
on
are
the
you
slant.
pulling on that line? Who are you pulling on that line?
Okay, Harry, we was just brainstorming. I don't know who you do, but
if you're gonna brainstorm, then tell me who you're gonna pull.
maybe add another fullback in there. I don't know.
Hey Harry, what's our backup quarterback?
Ryan Stubb.
Yeah. What do y'all think about him running like run? What do you think about? I haven't seen him do it, but I've seen UCF do it a lot. The option shovel pass to get the running back out wide in space.
Didn't they try that with Travis Hunter?
No, they did a reverse with Travis.
They did a reverse.
That was a reverse.
That was one trick play. But go ahead.
There were a couple of RPOs that probably 4, I would say 3, that Shadeur missed where he should have handed the ball off to the running back. Instead, he kept it and to try to pass it.
It was one that was so obvious. It was like the running back knew that he was supposed to be blocking, but then Shadeur did some weird thing where he tried to like fake it to him. But the running back didn't really know that was you're gonna fake it to me so I can at least put my hands up and help you to fake it. But Shadeur did his own little thing there. I was like, what is that play? Well, that seems a little weird. It's like communication be falling out for some reason.
I'll tell you this though, Harry. What I've seen is I don't know if I would do that because several games I watched where the backup QB got in, they ain't gonna fumble the doggone ball. It was several of them. So if you're not gonna give him them snaps or during the game or stuff like that's why I think in the CSU game, the biggest loss on that was giving Staub more snaps, having him ready. Because again, if you're getting 20 sacks, it feel like it. Shadeur is almost 20 sacks and he's getting hit almost every play. That is not sustainable for a season. You're eventually going to have you've seen that run like high ankle sprains, different things like that. Sometimes you're trying to, I remember I hurt my wrist because I got pushed back and I used too much of my wrist bent back the other way. And I was I wasn't in a cast, but I definitely had the little brace on there and things like that. And that you get that on your throwing hand, that's just kind of some of the stuff that's happened to Cam Rising. So the thing I would say is they've got to take a look at one of the things I love to see in this game is that they take somehow they minimize the hits that Shadeur takes, which means he's got to get rid of the ball.
Do y'all think that this is embedded in him, being that up under his dad all his life? Like, this is a part of his DNA? I'm asking that question for the simple fact he's going to go to the next level, and we all
when he goes
know
to
that
the next level,
get faster.
Yeah, not going to happen. He won't be successful at the next level doing that. That's for sure. They're not going to have it.
Yeah, I already told y'all that Shadeur is spoiled. There's a lot of things that Shadeur is really spoiled with that he has the liberty of doing with his dad because his dad gave him the keys to the kingdom. When you go to the NFL, they're going to have to undo a lot of things where coaches are going to be like, nope, that's not your call. I got that. Don't worry about that. You just play football. I'm not giving you that ability. No.
One thing that they will have a check down for him, an outlet in case he gets in trouble on pass plays. They will have that.
Right. But again, why do they not have a check down for him? Why is it that? Why are there not specific things unless there is and we just don't see it? But why are there not some very specific things that are said that Shadeur, you must do this? It's always in the press conference. We always learn that he just made a mistake.
Well, Shadeur likes the explosive plays. Obviously, Shadeur likes the deep ball, and you have players that do, but that's not always conducive for a game. I mean, like when you talk about like sacking, what Ryan was saying, that all it's gonna take in the pros is for a couple of saps, like somebody like a sap to come through there and just plow you into the ground, man, and you will change. Hopefully, you change your thing up. But yeah, that's something he's gonna have to work on. I think that again they have got to give him to stress Shador. That dad's got to come up and get in that helmet face to face and go, take the check down. Look, I don't need you to be Superman this game. I like that you can, but some can just be Clark Kent. That's okay. When I need you to put the cape on, you can, but don't wear the cape the whole game. That's how I see it.
Right. Let's put the cape in dry cleaning. So, but this brings me to this this thing right here. I was watching the Monday Night Football game last night. I was watching the Buffalo Bills game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you know your boy Trevor trying his best. I'm looking at that game from a quarterback perspective, and I'm like, this is the reason why Shadeur is going to be really good in the NFL. Shadeur is mature beyond his years. I believe, right? Maybe y'all don't hold the same belief, but I believe he's going to be a day one starter with a coach who is going to give him a lot of leeway. Not the same, he ain't going to have 100% or 90% like his dad's going to give him. But like I'm looking at other quarterbacks making basic plays, basic throws, and basic reads. And I'm looking at Trevor Lawrence, and I'm like, right, like basic. Your guy is wide open, and you're overthrowing the guy for the first down. All you need is 3 yards. That's why when I look at those things, I'm like, come on, my guy. Like,
I'm gonna just say this right now. You're right, 99, 95%. But the thing is, if he don't go to the right team with the right weapons, it's not gonna be a good thing. He has to have a team that's got
what
good.
other weapons are you talking about? You mean like an O-line protecting him, or
He's got to have
wide
good
receivers?
O-line. He's got to have good weapons that can go up there and get. And I mean, he's got to have good receivers, but he's also got to have a team that has a functional defense. Don't be like my Cowboys. Do not be like my Cowboys and have a defense like that, because then it puts him in a hole where he's
the weird thing about the NFL? Are we supposed to get the best from Oklahoma, Nebraska? Are we not getting the best of the best of the best of the best?
It's levels to it, Harry. But the thing is, you don't want to have Shadeur go into. You don't want to have him go into the NFL where he's having to be Superman. If you look back at Cam Newton was phenomenal as Superman, but it cost him because he was taking all kind of hits. It broke his body
and
down.
he was out of the league. How long? Like he didn't even spend that long in the league. For somebody like that, but I guess the older quarterbacks like the Cunninghams and those older guys, the Doug Williams, those guys spend a lot of time in the NFL. Now I'm seeing quarterbacks like 5-10 years, they're out of there. Like, am I missing something? That quarterbacks are supposed to be like, maybe like you're right. Shadeur cannot go to the NFL with those. That's why people keep saying, hey, Travis cannot play both ways, taking 100 and something snaps. Right.
Let me address something. Let me address something real quick. There are teams where they'll ask you to be Superman, and it'll cost you. For example, Tua, Bryce Young, two Bama quarterbacks that have phenomenal. We can go down the list. I mean, there's a lot. It's that when you come in and you put too much of a demand on a young quarterback, it can cost them because they're having to take things. And if you don't have a defense that can help you, that's why you want that solid defense, because they say defense wins championship, because it forces the offense to always press. If you look around some of the championship teams, they've always had a defense. Brady had a defense that was at least functional. I mean, we can go down the list. I mean, heck, even when the Troy Aikman days, he got Prime on the other side. So they know they can shut folks down or keep things. I mean, we're not going to even get into the doggone line that freaking Troy Aikman have. That's what I want to see. That Shadeur goes to a team that has the supporting cast that works. But see, unfortunately, that's probably going to be a team that's later on in the draft. It's not going to be somebody that needs you to start day one.
So I don't see a scenario where Shadeur goes to the NFL and he's behind somebody waiting for his chance. This ain't. I see a team that's going to draft him, and it may not be the best scenario for him right away, but I trust his abilities. And with an NFL coach that is not his dad, somebody who can just rein him in. Because at the end of the day, when we watch NFL tapes, when you go into that room with that coach, he's going to say, you see this right here? You see what you did right there? This is not you're not trying to get no Heisman. You ain't trying to get no nothing. Throw that ball away, my guy. I need you to be healthy, right? And you see that yellow line or that orange line, whenever you cross that line, start sliding.
Hey, Harry, let me ask you a
the
question.
first down, and that's all I need. I don't need no extra yardage. I just needed the first down because Shadeur, he thinks he's a freaking linebacker or he's a fullback. He goes and tries to hit people. I'm like, are you stupid or are you dumb? Go ahead, Tim.
Both. But what I was gonna say, if he, say for instance, Cincinnati Bengals don't pan out, and they get a chance to pick him up, do you think he'll start over Joe Burrow?
No.
Huh?
No,
not
I
at
don't
all.
think you start over Joe Burrow, but
Well, that's how he'll be a backup and learn.
but was Cincinnati bring him in having a Joe Burrow?
No.
No, they won't. I'm just throwing it as a scenario. Or say for instance he go to the Browns.
No, he's going to Miami.
You know how many quarterbacks the Browns got that was Heisman Trophy winners and how their careers panned out?
I think those were one of the teams that Coach Prime was talking about. He doesn't want his son to go to a bad organization because the organization matters.
Okay,
what about Miami?
That mean that he'll play. Well, yeah, Tua can't stop catching concussions, so.
Man,
But
Tua's career is over.
Yeah, so
so is Derrick Rose. D Rose is over too. So anyway.
So what I'm saying is, like what DC is talking about, he'll probably play behind somebody. If he go to Dallas, he'll play behind Prescott. Sorry.
Yeah, you're not going to Dallas.
Miami would be a great place for him.
It would.
Miami would be a great place for him because he's got good receivers. He's got a great, functional defense. I think that and he's got a good coach that I think really understands like a guru. You can get that offense going. I think Miami would be a perfect place for him, but I'm not sure Miami is going to be. I'm not sure if Miami won't be one of those teams that is picking. Like, what do y'all think? Maybe 10, 15 place somewhere around there.
Yeah, they're going to have to give up something if they want Shadeur.
Yeah.
But I think Shadeur is a number. It's a first day he's starting for somebody's coach, and he doesn't need DC. This is your line of thinking. He doesn't need superstar receivers. He needs functional receivers. Because in the NFL, I mean, they're all supposed to be the creme de la creme, right? So I think he just needs functional receivers, guys who can catch the ball. They don't have to be no superstars, and he can make them what they need to be. I don't know that he. I don't know that he.
Him.
Huh?
I see you comparing him to Tom Brady, but go ahead.
But I think, to tell you the truth, man, I ain't gonna hold you. I think he is Tom Brady. I think Shadeur is better than Tom Brady at this age.
Hey, Harry.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, Harry. Harry.
Yes.
I know we talked about that no-fly zone for over a year now.
Here we go.
Now we stop drinking that.
Yo, well,
Harry.
the only reason, listen,
Harry,
the only reason why you would say this is because of how great Tom Brady was.
No explanation. No way. On to the next subject. Ain't no way. Stop it, Harry. Tom Brady?
No. Stop. Let's stop for a second. How was Tom Brady in his first 2 years?
When Tom Brady came in, I thought he led him to a championship. Okay. When he took over for Bledsoe, they went to the playoffs. I know that.
Okay.
And shortly after that, he won a championship.
Is it too soon?
But notice he said this. Ryan said it, and that Brady was able to come in and sit for a moment behind Bledsoe.
Brady was a 6th round draft pick.
Yes.
He went. Did he go like number 98?
I don't know what the number
He was
was.
96.
I know he was drafted.
He was either 96 or 98.
But he had time to sit and learn the game behind a pretty good quarterback.
No. I'm not worried about him sitting and having time to sit. I'm saying, how did he play when he got in?
Well, he sat for a few years behind Bledsoe. The only reason he got in because Bledsoe got hurt, and then he played so well, Bledsoe never got back in.
Okay,
So
They traded Bledsoe.
look at
Yeah.
Love and Liberty. Love and Liberty is in Boulder, and Love and Liberty know their football, and he's white too. So you know when you're white, you're right. So, and he said I'm right. He said, Harry, you're right. At his age or at this age, Shadeur is better. So I'm right. I said at this age. I didn't say look at all the rings he got. It's not like Michael Jordan, look at all the rings he got, right? If you say who was better, LeBron James when he came into the league the first time, or was Jordan better when they first came into the league? Who would you say is better? At their age. Because what y'all are going to do is look at their rings and say, oh, Jordan, obviously. But
Well, Harry, I'd like to answer that question, but the glaring light from those 6 rings is blinding my vision. So I can't quite get to you.
I know. Those rings are kind of bright. I get it. I understand. But that is the thing. The judging of if you take a snapshot of their year, like when they entered the NFL or when they got drafted, I believe Shadeur in year number 1 would be a better quarterback than Tom Brady. I'm not saying he got his I don't know how many rings he ended up winning, 6 or 7 or whatever, so anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Harry.
Yeah.
Listen, okay, let me tell you this. That was a great point that you just made. Don't ever make that point again. Ever. I don't care how you want to dice it up or slice it up or explain it. Don't ever make that point again. Let's get back to CU.
I'm gonna tell you real quick before why you listen to Ron. Because Ron, you've seen the Ken Stablers play.
Yes.
You've seen the Troy Aikmans, you've seen the Joe Montanas, you've seen the Steve Youngs, you've seen the
Warren Moon.
You've seen them all.
Yes.
You've seen the Jerry Rice. You've seen every last one of them. Heck, you've even seen the Brian Sykes and the folks of the world that most folks don't even know who that is.
We can get racist real quick. Let's go to race real quick.
So
Black quarterbacks are way better up front, like initially, than white quarterbacks. White quarterbacks take time to develop. Am I right or am I right?
Harry, you can't do that.
Why? I can't be racist for a second?
No.
Okay.
Not in sports. Because it all boils down to your ability.
But is the statement a correct statement that black quarterbacks are better up front, like initially, than white quarterbacks?
No.
Okay, name a white quarterback that was like that out of the gate?
Dan Marino.
Joe Montana. Yeah, Dan Marino. Joe Montana.
Dan Marino, Joe Montana.
Elway. Elway's freaking a beast. He was killing it at Stanford.
Who replaced Joe Montana?
Steve Young.
Steve Young. He's white too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Young was like that. No. But was Steve Young like that right at the gate? No. I said right out the gate.
Okay, yeah. Harry.
I think y'all are treating this like NDSU.
No, I think you're having selective hearing.
I think
we said Joe Montana, Joe Montana,
okay.
Dan Marino,
okay,
Fran Tarkington.
It didn't take them no time to be
Ken
like a
Stabler. Ken Stabler.
Okay.
Day one.
Okay, so I can't be racist. I give up on that line of thinking. Forget about it. I like but listen to this though. When they were playing, black quarterbacks were not given chances. I could go a little deeper. So you didn't have no sample size. You didn't have a big sample size when they were playing because quarterbacks were white during their time.
Well, Warren Moon had to go to the CFL.
Yeah.
But when he came into the NFL, dude was a baller.
Right. You got the Michael Vicks, you got the Cam Newtons that when they come out, they light it up right away. But then the white quarterbacks, they take a little bit more time to get into their stride before they become legacy quarterbacks. Like, I don't know. I'm pushing this racist thing, but let me.
Yes, you are, Harry. And,
I know.
I disagree.
Well, I do too. Like, but all of us know who Doug Williams is, first black quarterback win the Super Bowl.
Right for the Washington Redskins, of course.
Yep.
Yeah. So listen, I'm not racist on what is this, Tuesday? I'm only racist on Wednesdays, okay? But I kind of peaked a little bit. I didn't want to go through the racist line. Let me get final thoughts. I gotta take Micah to football practice so they can yell at him. Final thoughts, DC. Colorado versus not tomorrow, but on Friday when we have our live, we'll go get a little bit deeper into it. We'll talk more on that, but let's get some final thoughts. You can talk about Colorado and UCF, or you can just give me whatever you think. DC, go.
Man, I don't know. That 15 for it to go from 13.5 to 15.5 points, man, that's a lot. I don't know what to think of that. So hopefully they're playing that CU has a good plan. I'll tell you right now, and I think I'm kind of like Vow Authority. I'll probably bet the money line. I don't know if I would even touch this game. It's a tricky one.
Why do you think? What happened though?
I think because it's going to be raining, thunderstorms in the area, and the winds, you're talking about 10, 15 gusts into 20, 30. That makes passing not very easy at all. It's one thing for it to rain. Wind makes it not easy. That takes away CU's strength, and it fortifies. It's almost like wind and rain is a 12th man on defense to a passing offense.
Oh, okay. So the weather's going to be bad again for this game?
Yeah, and it's supposed to be there. So that's why I think it jumped up quick like that. But we're going to hope for the best. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't pick this game.
Okay. All right, Ron Tate, what are your final thoughts, please, my guy?
Well, I think that I didn't take that into consideration, the weather. So, DC, you're probably correct. However, they're going to have to lean heavy on this run game, and they just have to shorten their routes. They're going to have to shorten their routes tremendously and have more yards after catch. But I'm still heavily favored with CU because of their defense right now. And Shadeur just has to get rid of the ball.
So they're going to be in Florida.
Oh yeah.
There's a hurricane coming that way too.
It's a hurricane coming down. Okay, so yeah, CU doesn't play that great in the rain. I just learned that the last game. So, all right, Tim, final words. I gotta take this little man to practice.
Oh, okay, great show. And I agree with you, Ron. I didn't take into that wind factor. That right there just sucks, man. Especially if it's pouring down and the wind is blowing at 15 or 20 miles per hour. That's like you said, Ron. They're gonna have to shorten their routes. But I did hear that it could be a possible delay to the game if that storm comes through. I know CU's leaving Wednesday, tomorrow. They head that way. They're not leaving on Thursday. So another great show, man, and I guess I'll just chop it up with you on Friday.
For sure. Hey, Colorado has an advantage. A little bit of not an advantage. Colorado has something. I'm not going to call it an advantage, but Colorado has a lot of Florida boys on that team, and Prime himself is from Florida, so he's used to the weather. He understands the weather, and I haven't heard him arguing with no weather people or nobody in the media about the weather. So that means he's going to be focused on what's going on. He knows Florida weather. So I think Prime is going to be ready for this. I think they're going to practice a little different, and they're going to be ready for that hurricane or whatever is coming over there. But I don't know how CU plays in weather. I mean, they win the game, but would y'all agree that this is another identifier game? Like character identifier game?
Now, to me, it's not an identifier game. To me, we want to see some consistency.
Okay.
No, everything is hard when it shouldn't be hard because they have the talent and they're a good team.
They just gotta play. They just gotta play up to their ability.
To their athletic ability. Yes. Yes.
Tim,
And
you were going to say something?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, this game right here to me is an identity game because you went to Nebraska on the road and laid an egg, so you bounce back.
Grab your shoes. I'll be right there in a second.
I'm ready to see what you're gonna do again against another great opponent on the road. I'm looking for a better outcome in the game, but I still got to see you 7 to 10 point win.
What's the UCF record? What's their record?
UCF
3-0. They're 3-0.
Wow.
Yeah, they had a bye. Didn't they have a bye?
They coming off a bye. The only team that they really played that gave them problems was TCU, and TCU shouldn't have lost that game because they was up 28-3 or 28-7 in the third quarter, and UCF came back and beat them.
Well, okay, so I think it's an identifier game because the things that goes wrong in games, if CU is able to limit those things, I think CU has the talent to really pull away when people are not expecting them to, because a drop here, a sack there, not getting rid of the ball there, just a few of those things. If some of those things go CU's way, I think CU has the ability to show us that they're really that they really got talent. And I know they got the talent, but it hasn't really worked all together yet. This might be the game that it could work all together.
Harry, let me just tell you this real quick, and I know Tim Moran get it. Gus Malzahn is known for a trick play. This is the only person that's been able to lock horn with Saban multiple times and win. So you cannot go into if you're going to this game thinking you're going up against a chump coach, I have had my heart broken many a times by Gus Malzahn. So that's what I'm saying. Get ready.
I'll say the same thing for CU because we always say that for everybody else, and it's never for CU. So if you are UCF and you think that all you hear is Colorado's O-line sucks, and they're not that great. If you think you're going to come in, Colorado's going to go to Florida and just lay an egg, you better think again, because there's a new sheriff in Boulder, and his name is Prime. And prime time, you know what time it is. Y'all have a great evening, and I will see y'all on Friday, guys. Or I might just pop up on y'all on another day because my schedule's so weird right now. I have no idea what's going on. I might just pop up on y'all. So y'all just click on the daggone link when y'all see me, okay? I'm out.
All right, man. Be blessed.
All right, thanks guys.
All right,
You got to take care.
GC.
All right, guys. Take care, guys. I'll see y'all later. Peace. All right, chat. Thanks, King P. Thanks, Peter Investor, TH, Jesse Best, Love and Liberty. Harry, Love and Liberty got a new video on their channel, on their YouTube channel. So please go to the Love and Liberty YouTube channel and support my guy. All right. Watch those videos, support Viral Authority. What up with you? Hope everybody's blessed. I gotta go to football practice. Peace out. I'll see y'all. Peace. Take care.